This is a Como 4 Sports Special. Now, live from Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, here's Como 4 News Sports Director Bruce King.
Good afternoon and welcome to a sold-out and wet Autzen Stadium in Eugene. You can hear the roar of the crowd and the band in the background as Oregon gets set to play Washington, a showdown battle for the Pac-10 lead. As I'm sure most of you know, Washington 2-0 in the Pac-10, Oregon 2-0 in the Pac-10, and oh, the scene couldn't be better. Working with me in the broadcast booth normally would be Jimmy Moore from the Philadelphia Stars, the USFL, but working with me now because Jimmy's tied up is an old friend, Al Roberts, who is the assistant coach of the Huskies, their running back coach for 6 years, and also in the USFL, the Los Angeles Express. Al, you have been through a number of Oregon-Washington games. You were the coach there last year when Washington won 37-21. What is the feeling getting into this game? Because they always say Oregon-Washington, it is something special.
Well, Bruce, you know, the fans at Oregon get you fired up to play them. The Washington fans get you fired up to play against the University of Oregon. It's one of the biggest rivalries on the coast, and Oregon and Washington games are the biggest that you want to be involved with.
Oh, and it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Weather, that's what we were talking about just a moment ago. Raining hard here in Eugene this morning, but now it's beginning to clear up just a little bit, but the field really is wet. What effect do you think that'll have on the game?
Well, Bruce, I think, like most people do, that the weather will be a determining factor in turnovers. And as you know, turnovers will be the ever-changing thing in a football game. Well, if it dries up a little bit, both teams will do their complementary offensive packages. As you know, Washington has a great balance, pass offense, run offense. Oregon, on the other hand, has the option involved with their passing game. So if the weather does anything at all, it'll cause more turnovers, which I disagree with and don't like at all.
A lot of teams have had problems with turnovers. Working the sideline with us again today, and a guy who is in his rain gear right now and ready to go is Harry Sloan. Harry?
Bruce, thank you. I don't know if I'll need my rain gear today. Like you said, it was raining earlier, but right now it's very pleasant. The wind is coming out of the west, but it's not strong. Shouldn't play a factor unless it becomes a little stiffer. Talked to offensive coordinator Bob Stull just a moment ago, and he said that his game plan will not change unless the weather does appreciably. Torrential downpour would make him turn a little more conservative, but he really doesn't think that will happen. A lot of hype surrounding this game. Washington has been there before, as you well know. Oregon hasn't, and so that could play a big part in this game as well. The Husky marching band behind me right now, they're standing on AstroTurf that is much like the AstroTurf at Husky Stadium. It's a little harder, and there's more of a crest in the middle of the field, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. You're going to be hearing a lot of these today. 10,000 of them were passed out in the crowd, and I tell you, it's going to be a little maddening down here, but I'm sure we'll get used to it. You know, I had a dream last night that Husky safety Jimmy Rogers blocked an Oregon punt. Rogers is from Aloha, Oregon. He'd like nothing better than do that, and if that dream comes true, I'm going to start dreaming about roses, Pasadena roses, and I know Don James doesn't want me to mention anything about it, but I just had to get it in there. So we should have one heck of a game, Bruce. Let's toss it back up to you.
Harry, we thank you very much. We'll see what happens this afternoon. Oregon against Washington. Washington 5-1 off the season, coming off a 32-15 win over Stanford last week in Seattle. While Oregon shocked everyone in the Pac-10 conference because they went down to Tucson, Arizona, and upset the Arizona Wildcats by a score of 19-10. Now, nobody really thought that was going to happen because that sets up this showdown battle, and I don't think there's an Oregon fan, a Washington fan around who thought it would be Oregon and Washington this time of the year battling for the lead in the Pac-10 conference. But that's exactly what it is, and the record crowd here is 44,000 plus. They expect maybe to break that here today because standing room only tickets have been on sale, and they say the whole doggone thing is a sellout. Al Roberts, as we'd mentioned, you've been through a lot of these. Now, last year, there is a guy, I remember the game up there last year, you won at 37-21, trailed 21-17, late in the ballgame, fourth quarter exact. Guy working radio on the sideline, Kenny Driscoll, today was the guy who came up with a big hit, and I know all at once, Husky Stadium came alive, and it's like an Oregon-Washington game. You know, anything can happen.
Yes, Bruce, as you know, Kenny Driscoll made the hit on one of the, I think it was Ladaria Johnson from the University of Oregon. The ball came out, Washington picked the ball up, and as I said before, turnovers are the biggest key in any football game. We went on to win that ball game 37-21. Turnovers with Washington and Oregon will always be the biggest turnover because the hype is so tremendous.
Well, you look at Oregon now. Oregon's turned the ball over twice, or I should say in the last two games, they have turned it over 4 times in each game. The defense, however, has been able to rise to the occasion. Washington had some real fumble problems early in the season, but they're beginning to put things together now and get it going again. But as you say, that could be the key here today. and one of those very, very interesting afternoons because of the weather.
Yes, Bruce, and the reason Oregon has some of the turnovers is the new coordinator, Bob Toledo, has them doing some different type of plays. And the handoffs and the little small things by young running backs and a young offensive line will cause those problems. Washington, on the other hand, are just having turnovers, and,
right.
You cannot tolerate turnovers.
Oregon, Washington, you can hear the roar of the crowd. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this.
To get to the top in American business, you must be fast, persuasive, and impossible to ignore.
The recommendation that I suggest...
Isn't it interesting these are the same qualities of a long-distance phone call?
Well, this I highly recommend. No delays.
Long distance.
I appreciate very much your interest.
It can take you further than you think.
That's my family.
This is the moment when you need the quick response and smooth acceleration that comes from Exxon unleaded regular gasoline. It has all the octane most cars need to help free your engine from knocking and pinging. And for even more octane, try Exxon Extra Unleaded. When the moment demands performance, get Exxon. Quality you can count on.
There's never been a better time.
People are talking money and plans. Seafirst is a place to talk about both.
They're leading the way with lower loan rates.
Now, through October 31st, Seafirst is lowering rates on loans for cars, education, travel, boats, you name it. Loans cost less through October 31st.
This is the right time, and Seafirst is the right bank.
Seafirst Bank. Expect excellence.
Which one is Phillips?
You see the crowd on hand right now. A sellout crowd. Autzen Stadium. Interesting. Washington wins the toss. They decline the option. Oregon will receive. They will defend the goal, the East goal here at Autzen Stadium. And Washington, obviously, will defend the West goal. And back deep, Eugene King and Harry Billups for the University of Oregon standing back on the goal line. And Jeff Jaeger, the young freshman, will kick it off from the 40-yard line for Washington. Oregon against Washington. The series now 45-26-5. Washington leads the series. The last time Oregon won here, well, I'm sure a lot of Husky fans will remember, 1973 by a score of 58-0. The Huskies have won 8 out of the last 9 games. The officials for the game, the referee, Burl Sargent, Walt Wolf, Bob Solenka, Charles Kuzman, Bill Richardson, John Alderton, William Thayer, and Jack Falar. So Oregon against Washington. That is Jeff Jaeger standing back on about the 32-yard line. Young man who called up this year and said, I want to play football at Washington, and he has come on and done some kind of job. Strong, strong leg. Eugene King, Harry Billups. Billups, the senior. High. Driving kick to the corner of the end zone. It will go into the end zone and out of bounds. I think they say it went out just short of the end zone, and Washington's going to have to kick it again. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
And the young kicker got a little nervous on his first kickoff in a very big game for Washington, and he just kicked it out of bounds. He's very upset about it, but he'll settle down in a few minutes.
Now, one thing you have to know about Oregon, too, is they have one of the great kickoff return teams in the country. But the big guy, and the guy who has played so well for them back there, and a guy who ran it back 91 yards against Arizona last week, he is out of the ball game right now, and that is Doug Judge, their fine, strong safety. So they'd make a couple of changes with King and Billups back there right now. You're looking now to the Washington side of the field. That's Jaeger. He's going to tee it up again, and we'll see what in the world can happen right now. Jaeger, 5'11", 180, the freshman from Kent Meridian High School. For the crowd on their feet again. We'll see if he can hit it this time. This time the ball will bounce in about the 4 and go into the end zone, so Oregon will put it in play on their own 20. Oregon with the ball for the first offensive play of the series. Oregon, as you know, defeated Arizona by a score of 19-10 last week. And before that, they defeated California 24-17 to get into this situation. Hampton, Shepard, Warner, Zinke, Smith, and Stringer across the line for Oregon.
Bruce, we can get a good feeling for Oregon's offensive game plan in the first couple of plays. We can see what they're going to do in a few seconds.
You saw the backfield right then. One running back. Jorgensen back to throw. Throws to the outside. Almost intercepted. Oh, it was almost picked off by J.C. Pearson on the sideline as he knocks it away.
Fine coverage by J.C. Pearson out of California. And he squeezed the receiver and did a fine job.
Jorgensen. He was hurt last year, early in the Washington-Oregon game. Went to the sideline. But he has played very well for the Oregon Ducks this year.
Oregon may come out throwing again, Bruce.
2nd and 10. Switch to back. Kevin Wilhite in now. The slot back positions at Wilhite in motion to the right side. Jorgensen back to throw. Time to throw. Looks, has a man open. Throws it high. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and that was Christensen, the tight end. And they'll play with 3 tight ends, usually down near the goal line. Christensen comes in. That kind of surprises me just a little bit because he hasn't played that much. Doug Herman is the fine tight end. Brings up 3rd down. And as Oregon goes to the air right away.
And Jorgensen is showing some signs of nervousness also, Bruce. He's threw in the coverage once and then overthrown the 2nd time.
Johnson and McCall in at the running back spot.
I think that's number 1, Kevin Wilhite.
Wilhite comes in and plays a McCall. Back to throw. Handoff left side. Wilhite with the ball. Is going to be hit short of the 20 at the 18. Kaharski of Washington in to make the stop along with Bestie Jackson. That was Wilhite running with the football for Oregon. Now Washington will be back to receive as the Ducks will be forced to kick it away. Ball back on the 19-yard line. Here you see it again from the end zone. Kind of a good look at exactly what happened.
It's a counter play given to Wilhite. Has good speed here. Browning forced Wilhite upfield, and the defense covered well. Look at the speed of the Husky defense. Nice leverage points.
Hicks standing back on the 5. High kick to Collins. Collins is going to take it. Hit immediately at the 40-yard line. Flag goes down, and I think it's going to be a penalty against Oregon because it didn't give him the 2 yards to catch the football.
Yes, in college football, Bruce, you have to give him 2 steps, and the referee didn't feel like he gave him 2 steps on that particular call.
A 38-yard kick by Hicks. We're going to get a good look at it right there. There it was. You have to give them 2 yards, and they didn't. Washington will take over 1st and 10 after the penalty, and the ball will be moved into Oregon territory, and the Huskies will have excellent field position at the 42, the Oregon 42.
Also, Bruce, Jack Robinson.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick by the kicking team. 1st down.
Earl Sorgan, the official, the referee for this game, explaining what happened. There's part of the crowd. Oh, great crowd here today. We're very pleased to be able to bring you this ball game for the Pac-10 lead. They're bringing a dry football now. Steve Pallure brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. Sterling Hines and Walt Hunter, the running backs. It is Green and Dave Stransky. Stransky in motion, the top of your screen. Hines across the 40 down to about the 38. We'll pick up about 4 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 6 for Washington on the Oregon 38.
Great field position for Washington at this point, Bruce. They decided to go off with a draw.
Green, Kaharski, Mowry, Ernestine, Brosey, and Maher across the line. Lance Dotson, the big tackle, has a sprained ankle. He hurt it against Navy and missed last week's game against Stanford and missing again this week. So Kaharski comes in at the left tackle position. Maher moves over to the right spot. Pallure, the quarterback. 2nd and 6 for Washington. Walt Hunt gets to the 35. Going to be short of the 1st down by about 4 yards. 13-16 to play 1st quarter. Washington has the ball for the first time. You're looking at the Oregon defense right now. Oregon has played very, very well defensively the last couple of weeks against California and against Arizona. 3rd down, 3rd and 3. The ball right at the 35-yard line. Huskies send Danny Green wide to the left. Stransky split to the right. The setbacks, that's Stransky in motion, are Hunt and Hines. Pallure, first pass of the game. Looks, throws to the outside, throws behind Sterling Hines. It is incomplete. Interesting coming into this game, you're looking at Steve Pallure. Pallure has now thrown 88 consecutive passes without an interception, and that ties an all-time University of Washington record. The old record, Tom Porras in 78-79. You remember that. So it's going to bring up 4th down for Washington. 4th and 3, the ball at the 35. Wilkins standing back on the 10. Thane Cleland from Lake Oswego back to kick at midfield. Huskies will have to give it up. High hanging kick. It appears that it's going to go in the end zone, and it does. So Oregon will take over again for the 2nd time of the ball game at their own 20. We have Harry Sloan on the sideline. Harry?
Thank you, Bruce. As the Husky defense takes to the field again, linebacker coach Skip Hall is warning them that those 2 previous pass plays called the dash play for Oregon, and he's warning them that they will throw a screen to the opposite side of the field, so that's one thing to look for. Another thing is linebacker Tim Meamber worried about Oregon's quick count, so they're settling themselves down and knowing that that's coming, and then they'll just take care of business. They're coming up to the line of scrimmage. Let's go back up to you.
Oregon 1st and 10 at their own 20. No score. We're in the 1st quarter between Oregon and Washington and Eugene. Handoff draw over the middle. Hit right at the line of scrimmage. Picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. And that's Kevin Wilhite. Wilhite, you know, recruited by Washington. And Kevin Wilhite at one time looked like he was going to go to Washington. Right, Al Roberts? Then changed his mind at the last minute. Ends up playing at Oregon.
Yes, he did, Bruce. He's a young 18-year-old kid, and most 18-year-old kids will change their mind. Now, we thought we had him, but he decided to go to Oregon, and he's doing fine for Oregon.
And he's been playing very well for them. He's a redshirt freshman, injured last year. Picks up 3 yards on the play from Rancho Cordova, California. Defensively for Washington, Holmes, Madsen, Browning across the line, as you see. Huskies up in a 3-man front. Oregon into an I formation. 2nd and 7 at the 23. And off to the tailback. That's Eugene King. He gets across the 25 and up to about the 27-yard line. Going to be short of the 1st down by about 3 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3 at the 27 with 11:40 to go here in the 1st quarter. No score between Oregon and Washington. Hudson Stadium in Eugene.
Okay, you can see the off-tackle power play to the right. Browning coming off the play, getting a hand on it. And number 56, Krokowski, made the hit. Eugene King showing good strength on that play.
McCall and Wilhite in the backfield now for Oregon on 3rd and 3. That's McCall in motion to the left side. Jorgensen to throw. Looks across the middle. It is complete for Wilhite. He's at the 40 and picks up the 1st down. This partisan Oregon crowd loves it. First down of the ball game for both Oregon and Washington. That's Wilhite, number 1, Rancho Cordova. Great track star, a guy who can really fly.
Wilhite blocked, tackled slowly, slipped out of the backfield, let the linebackers drop out. Jorgensen looks him off and drops it in a nice pass over the middle to Kevin Wilhite. He gets the ball, goes straight up the field. Takes care of the ball. Look in and lock the ball away.
1st and 10 now at the 40 for Oregon. The ball halfway between the hash marks. Ooh, great hit by Lynn Madsen right at the line of scrimmage. Whistle finally blows. Madsen has to spin him down. That's Eugene King, the sophomore from Vallejo, California.
Lynn Madsen very fired up on that play. Beat the center, got off the block, and made the play.
Madsen from Vista, California, 6'4", 250, a 2-year letterman, moves into the nose guard position. They moved Browning out about 3 games ago. I moved him over there. Tim Meamber, number 42, you see going back into the huddle right now. Very important to have him in the Washington lineup. Looked for a while like he wasn't going to be able to play this week. 2nd and 9. The ball at the 41.
The blitz is on, Bruce.
Split backs.
They're going to blitz them here. Here they come.
Jorgensen throwing into the blitz. Incomplete, flag down. And the flag's down at the line of scrimmage, and I'm not sure. Washington could have been offside. We'll see.
I don't know. In that area, sometimes, Bruce, they have holding. So we'll have to take a look at that.
Pass intended for Lou Barnes, who's the big junior college transfer, who is just doing a tremendous job. 5-yard penalty now against Washington on the play. And that will bring up 2nd. Oh, and about 4. So that's a break for the Oregon Ducks.
Offside against the defense. Still 2nd down.
You got so many Huskies up there, and they were so anxious.
Yes, they were, Bruce. They had the blitz on. And again, fine coverage by J.C. Pearson on that fine receiver from the University of Oregon.
68 is Madsen. Number 4 is Jorgensen. You're facing now 2nd and 5. The ball at the 45. Jorgensen looking over the middle, throwing. It is picked off by Bestie Jackson of Washington at the 30. The sophomore from Fresno picks the ball off as the pass was missed to the outside. And you can see the Huskies, after they stop that drive, that they're a happy group as they should be.
Yes, they are. Bruce, I said J.C. Pearson did a fine job, and here Bestie Jackson from McLean High School in Fresno plays the ball well, makes a great interception, and just takes care of the ball and goes to the ground. Fine interception by Bestie Jackson.
5'11", 186, the sophomore, as you mentioned, out of Fresno. Huskies have it 1st and 10 at their own 31. High formation. Pelluer back to throw. Looks. Goes to the outside. It is complete to Walt Hunter across the 30 and knocked out of bounds at the 33. So he picks up 4 on the play. 2nd and 6.
Oregon had fine coverage on that play, and Walt Hunt was just a dump off, Bruce.
Now, what do you do in a situation like this? You get a good feel for the game plan this early in the ball game?
Yes, I did. But Jorgensen seemed to be off a little bit for Oregon, and he's overthrown the ball. And Don James is just warming up Steve Pelluer.
2nd. They call it 8 here. Looks close to 7. Pelluer to throw again. Looks to the outside. Complete to Sterling Hines. Breaks 1 tackle. Still on his feet. Over the first down marker. Spins away. Flag goes down at the 42. And he's out of bounds near midfield at the 47-yard line.
I think we have a clip by number 55, Rick Mallory, on that play, Bruce.
Sterling Hines, 188 yards rushing last week in the win over Stanford. Flipping, as you mentioned, it is against Rick Mallory. And it's going to cost Washington all of that yardage, and they're going to bring it back.
Yes, Rick was a little anxious and tried to hustle downfield and get a fine block on the guy. And the guy made a fine play towards Sterling, and Rick hit him in the back.
Flipping against the offense. Still 2nd down.
2nd and 13 right now for the Huskies. Don James on the sideline. This is his 100th game as a coach. Tremendous record at Washington. 72-27, 97-46, and 1 overall. Inside, Hines picks up about 6 on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, 3rd and 9. The ball at the 32. 9:31 to play first quarter. No score between Oregon and Washington. Steve Pelluer from Interlake High School, who was just on a record course. He set the Washington record now for throwing without throwing an interception so far, and is just having a tremendous year. They needed great leadership from him, and he has given them great leadership so far.
We'll see what Coach James' plan is here, Bruce, to see if he will continue to throw the ball in a critical situation.
Only 1 setback, and that's Walt Hunt. Back to throw, over the middle. It is complete to Mark Patterson, short of the first down, and the Huskies will have to give up the football. Fine defensive play by E.J. Duffy. Father Hal played at Oregon, a basketball player. Number 43.
Again, Bruce, fine coverage by the Oregon secondary. Pelluer didn't have anybody to throw to. Pelluer here didn't have anybody to throw to. He looked him off downfield. 1 pump, sit, drop the ball off, and try to get something positive out of the play by making a completion here.
Patterson short of the first down, and will have to kick it away. Dan Wilkin is standing back, the deep man. Here's the kick by Thane Cleland off the side of his foot. It's going to be a short kick. Going to bounce at the 45, take a Washington bounce, and finally go out of bounds at the Oregon 35. So Oregon will take over 1st and 10 at their own 35. Cleland, 30 yards. He had 35 in the last one.
Yes, Bruce, a poor kick by the young guy, Thane Cleland, and the Oregon youngster touched the football, and that was very dangerous on his part also.
Cleland averaging 40 yards a kick coming into this game. Husky kicking game has not been what it's been in the past. Well, Oregon's special teams have played very well. We'll see now what their offense can do. That is Jorgensen with Mack in there along with Wilhite. 1st and 10, the ball at the 35. Draw to Wilhite. Slips at the 34 and is going to lose a yard.
Yes, Bruce, he's a big, fast youngster, and trying to make a sharp cut there, and with the red turf, he fell to the ground.
Bring up 2nd and 11 for Oregon. I'm sure the Ducks and their fans, the coaches, and everybody talked about what happened here in '73 when they came in and defeated a Washington football team 58-0. and they would love to do it one more time. This for the conference lead. Both teams 2-0 in the Pac-10. 2nd and 11 for Oregon. Wilhite hit as he goes across the 35 to the 37. Picks up 3 yards in the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8 for Oregon now at their own 37 with 7:29 to play in the first quarter. No score between Oregon and Washington.
Washington is substituting linebackers with secondary people with the University of Oregon. When they think there's going to be a run, the linebacker goes in. With possibility of a pass, the secondary man will go in.
Wilhite, 4 carries for 5 yards so far in the ball game.
Bruce, I saw a little bit more energy in Wilhite's running at that time. He looked like he's warming up, getting a little bit loose here.
3rd and 8. Wilhite the only setback. Back to throw Jorgensen. Flag goes down. Jorgensen's going to be hit. Finally gets it away. Ooh, and a hard hit at the 40-yard line by Vince Albritton.
Vince Albritton, coach. Vince Albritton.
He just unloaded on Lou Barnes, but the flag went down before that. We'll see what the call is. Vince Albritton.
This time I think it's a holding call, Bruce. Holding Oregon.
Now, what do? You decline the penalty because you want football.
Yeah, make them kick it, Bruce. Make them kick the ball to us.
There is a discussion, as you see. Number 46, that's Stuart Hill, Redmond High School. It was a walk-on. Just a marvelous story.
Illegal use of hands against the offense. Penalty declined. 4th down.
That's the second time, Bruce, that Coach Jim Limbright has put pressure on the Oregon offense with those young offensive linemen up there. With the secondary people covering as well as they're doing, we might see more blitzing in the future.
Kevin Hicks standing back on about the 27-yard, about the 23, and he will kick it away from there. He had a 73-yarder against Arizona last year, but this time he's kicking into the wind. Driving kick. Michael Collins back inside the 20. Tries to get away, and there is nothing there. He is driven back inside the 15. But they'll mark it, give him forward progress to the 19. Oregon fans, oh, they love every minute of it right here at Autzen Stadium. Michael Collins, the junior from Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah, he has to catch the ball here, Bruce, so the ball won't fall toward the sideline. Takes the ball, goes straight up the field. That's the shortest distance between 2 points. Good game tackling by the University of Oregon.
So 1st and 10 now for the Huskies at their own 19. No score. 6:45 to play here in the first quarter from Autzen Stadium. Huskies up with 1 setback, and that's Sterling Hines. Good shot of Pallure. Pitch to Hines. He slipped at the 19 and goes down. Hit just as he gets there by Michaels, Jerry Michaels, the junior from Palmway, California.
Sterling Hines has the same problem that Kevin Wilhite has. He's also a speedster, and that this turf is a little bit wet, so we have a problem.
And as you know, being a running back coach, it is difficult when you get on turf like this.
Yes, especially on turf that's been dampened a little bit by the rain.
Hines, 3 carries for 9 yards so far in the ball game. 2nd and 10 for Washington. Patterson in motion. Pallure, pitch back to Hines again, trying to get a block. He's going to be hemmed in, breaks away at the 20, gets to the 21. Picks up only 2 yards to play. E.J. Duffy out of Portland, the sophomore, 1-year letterman, makes the stop for the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon defense has played, as we've mentioned, the start of the broadcast, very well against California. They played super against Arizona. They caused so many turnovers against the Wildcats last week that Arizona's still shaking their head about what in the world happened down there, and they won the football game.
Yes, they did, Bruce. They stopped a fine Arizona team on offense.
Huskies 0 for 2 in 3rd down conversion. Pallure to throw, looks, throws to the outside, has him in and out of the hands, and I think it was tipped, intended for Stransky, and I think it was tipped by the short man just on the fingertips, just before it got to him. Danny McAllister was back there covering. Pallure coming to the sideline now as the Huskies will have to kick it away again for the 3rd time. Well, the last time that Thane Cleland kicked, he kicked a 30-yarder off the side of his foot. Before that, a 35-yarder.
Yes, both kicks by our young guys, Thane Cleland and Jager, have been erratic kicks. Both guys have to settle down and get a better kicking game in this part of the field.
Right now, Oregon's winning the kicking game because Cleveland's going to have to kick it from about the 10. This time, really gets his foot into it. The drive and kick is going to be taken at the 38. Spins away, still on his feet, still running with the football. Down the sideline, and finalist run away is Lou Barnes. Lou Barnes, the junior college transfer at Mesa JC, who has had big impression on this Oregon program this year. It's come up with some big plays. breaks one down the sideline then, and finally gets the ball to the 36-yard line.
Yes,
here is Barnes.
A missed tackle by Sterling Hines. Another fine move by the young Barnes youngster. Mo Hill comes from behind, puts pressure on the backside. Thane Cleveland and Mo Hill both pin the guy in the sideline.
Well, 1st and 10 now for Oregon as the kick's good for 41 yards. The return for 27. 1st and 10 now at the 36. McCall and Wilhite are the running backs. They're split in the backfield, as you can see. Wilhite hit at the line of scrimmage and driven down after it picks up only a yard on the play. Gets to the 34. In the right side of that defensive line, and there for Washington on the play. Husky was the man who made the first contact. This is Tim Meamber coming to the Washington sideline. Wilhite goes to the other side of the field. Wilhite's replaced by Ladera Johnson, the 3-year letterman from Carson, California. He's up at the I-back position. He's going to bring up now 2nd and 9. The ball at the 34, the Washington 34. Straight ahead to the fullback. Picks up only a couple of yards on the play. That's Johnson. He's hit by the middle of the defensive line for Washington.
And Washington's defensive line has done a fine job against Oregon also, Bruce. So we have a football game here.
Number 36 you see on your screen on the right, that's Joe Kelly. Comes in for Meamber on the play. Krakowski, number 56.
The biggest difference so far, Bruce, is the kicking game.
Jimmy Rogers comes back in, and to the sideline goes Freddie Small. Now they come kind of in a nickel defense for Washington right now. It brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 6. The ball at the 31. Pitch to the outside. They hit, spun away, and nothing there, and that's McCall. McCall is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. So what do you do now? 4th down, 4th and 6 at the 31.
I think right now, Coach, Bruce, I think I would probably punt it and hopefully push Washington further into their own territory.
Ronnie Miles comes in the game for Washington. Hicks is back to kick. You know, interesting thing about Oregon, Oregon's going to call timeout right here. And they're going to decide exactly what they're going to do. We'll get back to our thought in just a moment. 3:34 to play here in the first quarter. No score between Oregon and Washington.
Like hopes and dreams and caring, like love and joy and sharing, Fox's is a part of all things beautiful.
Fox's, Rainier Square, and in the Westin Hotel.
People are getting more out of Sunday in Seattle. More editorials. More classifieds. 2 Sunday magazines, Pacific and Parade. Arts and entertainment.
Thank you, darling.
Economy and travel. No other Sunday paper gives you more sports. Or 2 comic sections. Call 464-2121 to subscribe. Sunday.
Beat it.
It has something for everyone.
There you see the sellout crowd here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene on a wet day. It hasn't rained, but it rained this morning, and the field is really damp. And Oregon's going to set up now for a field goal. The ball will be at the 39. 49-yard field goal attempt by Paul Schwabe from Mercer Island, a 3-year letterman senior here at Oregon. Left foot kicker, his longest is 47 this year. The ball is down. Kick is up. Will it get there?
Short, Bruce.
No, it is short and to the right. So Washington holds, and they will take over 1st and 10 now at their own 32.
Fine attempt by young Schwabe from Mercer Island, Bruce.
Harry's on the sideline. Harry?
Bruce, last time they came off following a punt, Jimmy Rogers on the punt return team was really after his teammates. Emotions are running high right now. He was saying, come on, stick those guys. Don't leave Michael Collins all to his own. But now they did much better on this one. So let's go back up to you.
Huskies up in the I formation. 1st and 10 at the 32. Palua. Play action. Outside. Complete to Walt Hunt and hits just as he gets the football and picks up only 3 yards on the play. And Dan Wilkin from South Eugene High School. 6'1", 199, the sophomore. Redshirt last year in to make the stop for Oregon as Washington picks up 3 yards on the play. Give them 16 or maybe give them 17 now in passing so far and only 14 in rushing. And Pallure is 4 of 6 now for 17 yards in the ball game. Oregon, offensively, 14 yards rushing, 13 yards passing, a total of 27. 2nd and 7 for Washington. Sterling Hines trying to go inside. He'll get across the 35 out to about the 38-yard line. He's going to pick up a couple in the play, but short of the first down marker. E.J. Duffy from that inside linebacker position in the right side to make the stop with 2:42 to play. In the first quarter here in Eugene, no score between Oregon and Washington. 3rd and 3.
A critical down, Bruce.
The 4th third down conversion for Washington. They've yet to pick one up. Pallure rolls to the left and looks. Ducks inside, close to the first down, and I think he picked it up. Across the 41 to the 42, and if they place the nose of the football at the 42-yard line, he has it. And it'll be the first down of the ball game for Washington. From here, it looks like a first down.
Steve Pallure on a bootleg here. Comes around, can't find anybody to throw to. He sets up, gets his shoulder squared up, makes an attempt to throw the ball, and falls forward. He knows exactly where the first down marker is.
Through 6 games so far this year, Washington has scored 46 points in the first quarter. Oregon has only scored 27. But right now it is a 0-0 tie, and the Oregon defense is just dominating play. First down, as you see, for Washington. The Huskies pick up their first down of the ball game.
The fine mark of a senior quarterback, a leader quarterback that will keep drive alive by running the ball, throwing the ball.
The Huskies, the leading total offense team in the conference, 443.7 yards so far, 8th in the country. Pallure falls as he hands the ball to Hines. Hines breaks away in the clear at the 40. One man to beat. At the 30, he is out of bounds. At the 25, Danny McAllister was the man he had to beat, and he ran him out of bounds at the 25-yard line. We've got a flag down, however. Down the field, we'll see what the call is. Sterling Hines. Here it is again.
Okay, a counter dive, a counter power play to Sterling. Pallure slips and falls. Sterling Hines makes a power move, quick move through the hole. McAllister making the play on him, and there you can see the face mask with the left hand out of bounds. Good call by the referee.
33-yard run by Sterling Hines. Hines, as we'd mentioned, had 188 yards last week.
Face mask on the tackle by the defense. First down.
Okay, Bruce, remember, went back to that 3rd and 3. Steve Pallure made the first down. Now we came back with a 33-yard run by Sterling Hines.
So the Huskies in scoring position for the first time. Have the ball at the Oregon 13. Walt Hunt spins away and then runs right into a tackle down at the 12-yard line. And that was Dale Dorning making the stop, the junior from Seattle's Federal Way High School. Went to Walla Walla Community College and transferred here to Oregon. Walt Hunt picks up only a yard on the play. Takes the ball to the 12. 2nd. And a long 9 at the 12. Husky fans come alive. Stransky in motion. Hines to the outside. Still on his feet. Going to be hit at the 12 and driven back to the 15.
Fine defensive coverage by the University of Oregon again.
Jerry Michaels, the 2-year Letterman Jr. from Poway, California, led the charge against Washington there. Hines knocked down as he only gets back to the line of scrimmage. They'll give him forward progress to the 12.
Yeah, again, remember, Sterling Hines slipped earlier on a sweep play. This time he's a little more timid-footed because he's trying to keep his foot in. Again, fine coverage, fine defense by the University of Oregon. Look at the game tackling.
It reminds you of the Huskies a little bit, doesn't it?
In a fired-up game like this, Bruce.
3rd and 10 at the 12. Ball on the hash mark on this side of the field. The Huskies with a wind at their back. Pallure back to throw. Has time. Ball batted away and in the air. And knocked away by Oregon on a fine defensive play. So the Ducks hold, and Jeff Jaeger will come in and attempt the field goal. Here you see it again. Pallure to throw. Hit just as he gets rid of the football by number 99, and that is Dan Ralph, who was the Pac-10 Player of the Week last week when he made 12 unassisted tackles against Arizona. Ralph, the senior from North Glen, Colorado. So Jaeger, out of the hold of Pallure, will set the ball down on the 19, a 29-yard field goal. The kick is up. He slips as he kicks the ball, and it is good. Jeff Jaeger's feet went right out from under him, and he slipped down, but he hit it with enough foot to drive it through the uprights. And the Huskies are on the scoreboard with 31 seconds to play here in the first quarter from Autzen Stadium. The score, Washington 3 and Oregon 0.
You've got a style that's all your own.
You find as many styles in running a business as you do in the business of running. At ONB, we'll make every effort to bank your business in the one style to which it's committed. Not ours, yours.
At ONB, we like to do it your way. That's our style.
Well, I like this beer better.
Is the one you picked?
Rainier Light. That's a great beer. I like that. I'm surprised to see it's light beer. That's real good.
Is the one you didn't pick?
Budweiser Light. I've always got Bud in my refrigerator, and it's time for me to start putting Rainier Light in there, that's for sure. For light beer, I'd say Rainier has the fullest, most body of any light beer I've ever had.
Try Rainier Light and discover how good light beer can taste.
I get to watch my waist and drink good beer.
Third quarter, Nebraska 42. The Huskies move 57 yards in 8 plays. 2 minutes and 58 seconds to score on a 29-yard field goal by Jeff Jagger. So it is Washington 3 and Oregon nothing. Eugene King and Harry Billups are standing back.
Young Jagger kicked the ball out of bounds the first time with that field goal, Bruce. We'll see what he does with this one.
With Doug Judge out of the ball game for Oregon, it really takes away from their kickoff return team. So they come back, make some major changes, really, with King and Billups back. Billups really hadn't played that much. He is a senior, a 3-year letterman from Irvine, California. Long driving kick and a high one this time. It will be taken 3 yards deep in the end zone, and they will down it. That's Billups right there.
Yes, Bruce, that's maturity for you. One kick, 1 quarter, the second kick. He puts the ball deep, 5-6 yards in the end zone.
They say that's what a senior will do for you, right?
Exactly.
There's the scoring drive, as you see. They have it up 68 yards in 8 plays. Oregon now trailing 3-0 on that field goal. Try to get something going. Mike Jorgensen, the quarterback from Ontario, Oregon, the junior. The upbacks are McCall and Wilhite. Tight end in motion to the left side. Handoff to Wilhite. Big hole across the 30 to the 32 and picks up the first down. So the freshman from Rancho Cordova was 12 yards to center of the line to pick up the first down. You get Wilhite in the open, and he can fly.
That'll be a foot race. It's a quick opener by the University of Oregon. Wilhite has good speed, good strength, and he slips on the turf again, trying to make a hard, fast cut. It's hard for those super sprinters, Bruce, to make those quick cuts like Sterling Hines and Kevin Wilhite.
Wilhite and McCall. McCall, number 42. He is the up back in the eye, with Wilhite playing the fullback position right now. 1st and 10 at the 32. McCall hit behind the line of scrimmage, and that's Ronnie Holmes. Oh, Ron Holmes made a fine defensive play for the Huskies. Holmes is the junior from Timberline High School in Lacey. He makes a play.
Yes, he did, Bruce. Here you have a fire charge by Ronnie Holmes. He comes free. Nice open field tackle on the running back, who doesn't have a chance to get the head of steam upfield.
And they lose 3 yards on the play as the clock winds down to 0 here at the end of the first quarter. So after 15 minutes of action at a sold-out Autzen Stadium in Eugene, it is Washington 3 and Oregon nothing.
Growing up, Dave had a knack for fixing things,
How'd you do that?
even when they weren't broken.
How'd you do that?
He always had to know what made things tick.
Let's do that.
Thank you very much. Dave's Auto.
When he had his own business,
Okay, bring it over.
Rainier Bank found ways to help it grow.
You gotta help me, Dave. I gotta pick up Lisa for the dance in 20 minutes. I just started doing this.
At Rainier Bank,
Let's take a look.
we've always believed in helping people.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Whether it's a business
It's
loan
taking me a month to get up the nerve to ask her out.
or a retirement plan.
How's that sound?
Because if you have confidence
How'd you do that?
in people's ability to reach their goals,
Thanks, Dave. What do I owe you?
they'll have confidence
Last dance is on me.
in your ability to help them get there.
Washington 3, Oregon nothing. The crowd on their feet. They come alive here at Autzen Stadium. They cheer for the Oregon Ducks. In that first quarter, total offense, Washington 71, Oregon 35 yards. And now Oregon faces a 2nd and 14 at their own 28. King and Wilhite are the running backs now. Eugene King, number 3. Timmy Amber back in the ball game, as you see, at an inside linebacker position for Washington. Huskies up in a 4-man front. Jorgensen back to throw. Time hit just as he throws, picked off by Vince Albritton.
Get outside.
He's at the 40.
Get outside.
He's at the 30. One man to beat at the 20 and run out of bounds inside the 20 at the 19. Al Roberts turned into a coach there for just a second, telling them what to do. Oregon and Washington fans up on their feet. The Oregon fans sit down. Washington fans come alive. And that is Vince Albritton's interception that puts Washington in excellent field position. A 23-yard return. The senior from Oakland, California, picks it off right there.
Yes, Bruce, you saw, as I stated before, Jorgensen is a little off today. He's a little excited, and he's overthrowing and underthrowing. Plus, he had pressure by the big tackle, Ron Holmes. Fine interception by Vince Albritton.
He's 2 of 6 now. Had 2 interceptions in the ball game so far. 1 of 6 for 2 interceptions. Throw almost picked off, as you see. Oh, it was there, and that was Wendell Kaysen from Carson, California, almost picked off the pass.
Yes, Bruce, that was fine accuracy, fine location of the receiver. Here it is again.
Pelora on first down.
He had the young guy open. He just didn't stick it in there, and that allowed the receiver, the defender number 11, to get underneath the pass.
It was intended for Danny Green. Second down for Washington now at the 19. The up back in the eye. That's Sterling Hines. Walt Hunt in motion. Splint draw. Hit it to 20 and knocked down on a great defensive play by Oregon that time, and Dan Wilkin. And the Oregon Ducks defensive unit continues to come up with a big play. Hines loses a yard back to the 20. Hines now has 8 carries for 46 yards.
You saw Sterling Hines there. Can't seem to get his footing, and the fast, aggressive Oregon defense can cover him like a blanket in that kind of situation.
Dan Wilkin, the sophomore from Eugene. Third down now for Washington. 3rd and 11 at the 20. Patterson in motion. Pelora to throw. Rolls to the outside. Looking. He's going to keep the ball. Sprints to the outside. Still on his feet. Has a chance to get the first down and finally wrestled out of bounds at the 12. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down. Don Brown from the left corner comes up to make the play. Brown, one of 7 lettermen, 7 freshmen to make a letter at Oregon last year. Here it is again.
Steve Pelora on a straight drop back, on a dash and roll, they call it. Looking for a receiver downfield. Everyone's covered with adequate blocking in front. He decides to take off. Makes a fine inside-outside move there. Now he's racing for the sideline, trying to get to the outbounds and the first marker. And there you see he's about 3 or 4 yards short. On the field, young Jager again.
Jeff Jager with the ball at the 19, the original line of scrimmage. A 29-yard field goal again. Kick is up, gets his foot into it. It is good. And Jager kicks another 29-yard field goal. So with 13:52 to play here in the second quarter, it is Washington 6 and Oregon nothing.
Yes, Bruce, 2 turnovers.
Say it again, sweetheart.
All right. An annuity that's tax-deferred means as long as your money grows there, you don't have to pay any current taxes at all. So your principal and interest can compound that much faster.
You're good. You're real good.
You know how to get a tax-deferred annuity, don't you, Steve? You just put your funds together and go on down to your local savings and loan or bank.
The G&A annuity is available at Shoreline Savings.
Aha, there's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bill.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of thermal protection you can have. It can help you save money on your fuel bills.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning, building products that put your house in the pink.
6-0, Washington over Oregon. Harry?
As now as the defense will again take the field, they are beginning to assert themselves right now. You saw Vince Albritton had a beautiful tackle as well as an interception. Vesty Jackson, another interception. You saw Timmy Amber back in action. He came out. He took a knock on that injured knee, but he said it hurt like heck, but he was going to go back in after a little rest, and that's exactly what he did. Incidentally, the Oregon people are trying to start the human wave here, but it's not working too well. They're about to kick off. Let's toss it back to you.
Back deep now for Oregon, Eugene King and Harry Billups. Driving kick by Jagger is going to bounce on the 4. In and out of the hands. The ball still alive. Back on about the, 8 yards deep in the end zone. And finally, Billups and King go back there. And King started to walk away from it. Oh, what a mistake that would have been.
A major 7 points that time, Bruce. Again, turnovers, mistakes in the kicking game will turn the tide on you.
But again, a lift for that Oregon defense in the fact that Washington picks off 2 passes and only able to turn it into 6 points.
That tells you the growth and the maturation on the part of the University of Oregon defense. Early in the year they had problems, but now the defense has been keeping the University of Oregon Ducks in the ballgame.
1st and 10 for Oregon at their own 20. Washington leading 6-0. McCall and Wilhite are the setbacks. Jorgensen completed only 1 pass, had 2 picked off so far. Hand off to McCall. McCall on a reverse to the outside, and Barnes going to be hit, still trying to get away inside the 20 and knocked down at about the 18. That's Lou Barnes on the reverse. Oregon has been known to come up with a trick play or two. They've done a lot of things this year, and they've done a lot of things over the last few years. They love to run the reverse, love to do some different things. Here you see Barnes right now.
On the reverse, you see Krakowski with great team speed.
Dean Browning also.
Dean Browning and Ron Holmes on the come. Great team speed at the University of Washington.
We'll give you those first quarter stats here again in just a moment. 2nd down and 12 for Oregon. They make a change with Johnson in the ball game now for Wilhite. Back to throw, throws over the middle. It is completed to 21 to the 20, near the 22-yard line. And that's to McCall coming out of the backfield. Tim Leamber in on the play, number 42. And Krakowski also there. McCall from Carson, California, a junior. Only 5'9", not the biggest guy in the world. But he plays very, very well for this Oregon football team. He's a squad member last year, but I'll tell you one thing, he's going to earn his letter this time around.
Yes, he is. He's a fine, strong running back, Bruce. And if the surf wasn't so slippery, you could see a little bit more of him.
Kevin Wilhite, 6 of 16, 6 carries for 16 yards in the first half for Oregon. Jorgensen now facing a 3rd down, 3rd and 8, the ball at the 22. Big rush to the outside, complete to the tight end, spins away from 1 tackle, and finally brought to the ground as he picks up only about a yard on the play to Doug Herman out of Renton High School in Renton. And a 2-year letterman here at Oregon, and he tried to spin away and get the tackle, but the linebackers for Washington out to the outside and played it very well.
Joe Krakowski, Bruce, is making plays all over the field. On that particular pass defense, he made the great hit, but he didn't tackle the young guy and bring him down. But he is playing a good ball game today.
Kevin Hicks is going to stand inside his 10 at the 9. Michael Collins at the 40. Hicks from Oxnard, California to kick it away. Washington 6, Oregon nothing, and Oregon giving up the football. High driving kick. Collins this time will take it. Tries to get away. Nothing there, and driven back to the 35.
Yes, fine coverage by the Oregon spread punt team.
So Washington continues to have problems trying to put something together on their punt return team. Michael Collins had a couple of long runs against Navy earlier this year, but other than that, that's been just about it. Against Oregon State, I should say, played very, very well. But they still have their problems with the punt return team. They'll take it over now, 1st and 10 at their own 39. Husky fans come alive. You're looking at the Oregon bench. That's Rich Brooks in his 7th season. You see his record there. His best record one year, 6-2-3. This year he is 3-3. Sterling Hines to the left side across the 40 to the 42-yard line. He'll pick up 3 yards on the play. Jock Robinson, we should mention. Jock Robinson is out with a little problem with the arch of his foot. If you remember, he hurt it last week, and it is still bothering him, and you doubt very much whether you're going to see him today.
You'd like to be able to use all your tailbacks in a game like this. Jock Robinson would be great on a surface like this because he makes quick moves, but he doesn't have the tremendous speed. So that would help Washington at this time if they had him. 2nd and 7. Ball at the 42. Fuller to throw. Looking, dumps it over, and complete to Leroy Lutu across the 45 to the 46. Going to be short of the first down by a couple of yards. The young man from Honolulu. Good tight end at Washington, and a guy who is a 2-year letterman and a senior. Don Brown, the sophomore from Carson, making the stop. Okay, a fake draw to Sterling. Fine pass by Steve Fuller, and a nice catch by Fuller. By Leroy Lutu. You also saw the defender come up underneath and try to pick that.
3rd and 3 for Washington. Pallure rolling to the outside. Looking again. Going to keep the ball. Gets the first down and then hit hard across midfield and out of bounds in Oregon territory at the 47-yard line. I'll tell you, Pallure really took a pop from Jeff Williams up from the strong safety position or the weak safety position, and Wendell Kaysen. But Pallure from Interlake is okay, gets up. He's a big guy at 6'4", 210, and really makes a difference when you have a quarterback that size.
Yes, and he's competing a little bit here, and he wanted to get into the flow of the ball game, but Steve has to remember, get out of bounds, make the first down.
1st and 10 now for Washington at the Oregon 47. Huskies lead it 6-0. We're in the second quarter. Sterling Hines spins across the 42 to near the 40-yard line. They'll mark it just short of the 40 as he picks up about 7 yards on the play. Huddits from the inside linebacker position, the junior from Wheaton, Illinois, to make the stop for Oregon. Number 22, Sterling Hines. He's carried the load so far for Washington in the game. 10 carries for 56 yards.
Very, very consistent this year for the University of Washington. Very consistent.
Big gain, a 33-yarder to set up a field goal. 2nd and 3. Walt Hunt has an opening. Really hit, and that's his helmet that goes off, but he hangs on to the football, and he gets the first down at the 30-yard line. Walt Hunt from Burien and Highline High School takes a hit from Dan Wilkin. Watch the hit here. Now, he'll lose the helmet. Wilkin comes up, boom, right there, and knocks the helmet off. But Hunt hangs on to the football and gets the ball to the 30. Running back coaches, you smile when you see that, don't you?
Good quick opener by University of Washington. Good football played by the secondary guy from University of Oregon.
1st and 10 for Oregon at the 30. First real drive of the ball game for them. Hines still breaking tackles. One man to beat at the 20, down to the 18, to the 16.
That's called a running back for you there, Bruce.
Dorning was the man he had to beat, and he almost went all the way. Dorning got on his back, and he couldn't shake him.
A little counter step in the backfield with a lead tackle up front. Got hit, tackled twice there. Good strength, upper body strength, and breaking the tackles here. Look at him fight for extra yards.
Takes the ball to the 16 and another. Washington first down. Huskies 1st and 10 at the Oregon 16. Washington leads it 6-0. Walt Hunt over the right side, and he's going to pick up only about 2 yards on the play. Takes it inside the 15 down to near the 14-yard line. Dave Maley making the stop for Oregon on the play, a freshman redshirt from Pineville.
At this point, Bruce, Washington must put a 7 on the board, and Oregon's defense must keep the offense in the game by just, if they can.
Well, that Oregon defense has been on the field for a long time. They're going to take a rest right now. 9:10 to play, second quarter. Washington 6 and Oregon nothing.
These days, a lot of airlines are hearing from their passengers.
Baggage complaints? I already have 40 crates full of baggage complaints. Bruised baggage, mass baggage.
Furthermore, I had better food and...
Cramped seating. We have no room for cramped seating. We're already sharing our space with late flight. What's that? Try and edit me.
Furthermore, I had better food in prison.
Okay?
Prison.
And if they're not there...
Prison.
Prison.
At Alaska Airlines, we hear from our passengers, but we like what we're hearing because our passengers like what they're flying. Introducing the new Peugeot wagon. A station wagon that is bigger than the best-selling imported or American wagons. A wagon that will carry over half a ton of almost anything. The Peugeot 505S, perhaps the most comfortable wagon in the world today.
You can see it is quiet in the Oregon rooting section right now because the Huskies lead it 6-0, and they are on the move. The Husky rooters, they're down to our right here, and they're enjoying every minute of this. 9:10 to play, second quarter. Huskies have it now, 2nd and a long 7 at the Oregon 13. Hines and Hunter, the running back. 4-man front for Oregon. Pallure, Sterling Hines. Hines inside the 10 to about the 7. He's going to hit short of the first down by about a yard. Jeff Williams comes up from the weak safety position to make the stop. The 2-year letterman from Santa Ana.
Sterling Hines, that sprinter speed, got his shoulders turned upfield when he got to worry about slipping, and just flat took off that time.
3rd down again for the Huskies. Huskies 2 of 7 in 3rd down conversion. Pallure goes straight ahead and dives for the first down. He gets the ball down to the 5. They go right at Dan Ralph, the senior from North Glen, Colorado, and they get the first down. Valor behind the blocking in there of Ernest C. and Brosey and Rick Mowry, and there are some big people on that Washington offensive line. Ernest C. at 237, Brosey 260, Mowry 266. The big guy, Lance Dotson, he is home and not playing today. But that Oregon offensive line's blocking very well. First and goal to go now at the 5. Mark Patterson in motion. Sterling Hines, big hole, right side. Spins away, and he's hit at the 2.
Great second effort against. Great second effort. Big hole by the Washington offensive line.
Dan Wilkin in on the play. Could be an Oregon player injured. An Oregon player injured on the play.
Looks like number 21.
21, Don
like
Brown.
Number 21, senior.
And he is down at the 2. Sterling Hines running very well. Great block there by Brosey and Ernest on the right side to open it up. Hines now 13 carries for 80 yards here in the first half.
Great second effort by Sterling again. Brosey is ready to play football.
So Brown goes out of the game. The sophomore from Carson, California is out of there as he's helped to the sideline.
If we can get a feel for Sterling Hines and run backs like Kevin Wilhite, they're sprinters, and on a wet surface, they got their shoulders and they're parallel to the line of scrimmage. They can take off. You can see them pick up a good head of steam and become a real force.
McAllister comes in to replace Brown. Second down, goal to go at the 2. Straight ahead, Walt Hunt. He's hit at the 1. That defensive line of Maley, Ralph, Back, and Dorning doing a good job. Huditz, Duffy in there, and Gary Michaels. Brings up third down. You see the goal line just on the left of your screen. The ball marked at the 2. So the Huskies, another third down. They are now 3 of 8 in third downs.
Another very critical down here for Washington. They must make 7 points this game. The Oregon defense must keep them out of there for another 3.
So on 3rd and 2, Washington looks at the defense and says, wait a minute, we want to talk it over, and they come over to the sideline and come over to talk with Don James. They gather around him. You see the Huskies leading Oregon by a score of 6-0, a couple of 29-yard field goals, but Jeff Jaeger, the difference in the ball game so far. That's Ray Dorr, the quarterback coach, just on the right of your screen. Jeff Woodruff in the background.
Bruce, this play has been discussed earlier in the week. Third down and critical situation on the goal line. What we have to do right now is design exactly who we're going to throw to and find out what defense we believe that Oregon will be in.
That's Al Roberts, talks like a coach, doesn't he? What we're going to do and how we're going to get there. Isn't that right? But you do talk it over early in the week. You know exactly, down and distance, what you want to do at this time in the ball game. You just don't walk into the huddle and say,
no, Bruce,
what are we going to do now?
Bruce, Thursday morning, Coach James called the coaches in. Third down, middle of the field, critical situation. Here, 3rd and 2 on the 2. What are we going to do? Who's the player? Who's going to throw it? What player we're going to run over? And those plays already decided. Now we have to find out or decide what defense we believe that the University of Oregon will be in.
Oregon was gathered by Rich Brooks on the sideline. It is a chess game, and we will see who wins the chess game right now. 3rd and goal to go at the 2. And what a lift it would be for the Oregon defense if they could hold.
Yes, Washington is trying to look at 7 points. Oregon wants to come out with a minimum of 3 and keep their offense alive and active in the ball game.
3rd down, goal to go at the 2. Patterson in motion. Pallure rolling, throwing to the outside. Touchdown! He hit him with a strike to the tight end, and that was Tony Roten who caught the touchdown pass. Dan Wilkin was defending on the play from the strong safety position, and Tony Roten was right there, and Steve Pallure just threw a strike at him.
Yes, he did. Bruce, you remember earlier the receiver was wide open, and Steve sort of touched it or nursed the ball in there? This time, look at the ball, just jumped off his hands, stuck it in between the defenders. Roten caught the ball, fell down, and protected the ball. Great touchdown, great throw, and decent coverage by the University of Oregon. It was just a fine throw by Steve Pallure and a fine catch by Tony Roten.
The Huskies moved 61 yards in 12 plays. Run off 4:40 at the clock to get on the scoreboard on that 2-yard touchdown pass from Steve Pallure as he threw the pass to Tony Roten. Now, the Huskies had lined up like they were going to go for 2. Oregon immediately called timeout. So there is a discussion going on the field right now on the Oregon side and the Washington side as well, as they decide whether they want to go for two, because the score is 12-0 now in favor of Washington. Huskies want to get a couple of more points on the scoreboard if they can and make it 14-0 right now.
Yes, they can, Bruce. And the decision, again, was already made. If you're up by 13 or behind by 13, you go for 1 or 2, and the decision was already made. We're going for 2, and that was the decision. Now, the play was called. Oregon saw that we're going for 2, and now we have to call timeout again, and let's talk about what the possibilities are of making this two-point conversion. As you noticed, they did not put a kicker in. The quarterback went back out.
You're looking at Oregon huddle. Gaharski, what a game he played last week against Stanford, coming in to replace Lance Dotson. Pallur so far in the ball game, 6 of 10 for 24 yards and a touchdown. Huskies will go for 2. Oregon makes a change defensively. Pallur waits and is set. Patterson in motion. Straight back to throw. Throw it to the outside. It is caught. No, in and out of the hand, but a flag goes down. It was in and out of the hands of Sterling Hines on the sideline, but a flag went down in the end zone. We'll see what in the world the flag is. Jeff Williams was defending on that side, number 26. Here it is again.
Okay, a motion in the backfield. Nice pass to Sterling Hines. Had the ball, and the ball came out late.
The penalty will be against Washington, so it's no good.
Illegal use of hands against the offense. Penalty declined.
A little too deep in the end zone for us to see from here, Bruce, but I think the receiver on the backside of the University of Washington,
yes,
on the backside of the University of Washington, pushed off the defender, tried to get himself open. And by doing so, he got a little too far extended, and the referee had to call it because it had too much of an advantage for the receiver by the University of Washington.
7:13 to play in the second quarter. Washington 12 and Oregon nothing, as you see. Last year, Washington defeat Oregon by a score of 37-21, but they had to come from behind to do it. Oregon this year, they are 3-3 on the season. Washington 5-1. Washington ranked 15th in the country in one poll and 18th in the country in the other. The Huskies 25-5 over the last 2.5 seasons. Don James has had tremendous success at Washington. I'll tell you one thing, when we went to the southeastern part of the country and played LSU, a lot of people down there said, we want to see what kind of a football team you have. And Washington would have sort of destroyed themselves and got beat 40-14 down there. But they've been able to put it back together since then, and now they lead the Pac-10 Conference with a 2-0 record. They lead Oregon 12-0 in the second quarter here. Jagger to kick it off. Eugene King and Harry Billups standing back on the goal line. Jagger's going to have to kick it into a little breeze right now that kicks up from our left, which is the west here, the north, or the east-west configuration of the stadium. Good high kick, but this time they're going to have a chance to run it back. Billups at the 10, across the 20 to the 24, and the senior from Irvine, California. It's Oregon pretty good field position out at the 24-yard line.
Penalty on the field, Bruce. I think it might be all sides Washington on the kickoff.
And if you're Oregon, obviously, you're going to take that because you'd love to get it up the field just a little bit further. Huskies have been plagued by penalties on occasion this year, as they have been plagued by fumbles, but it seems to be getting better and better, and they're putting this young team together, young team and experience together. And Oregon's deciding what they're going to do, and there seems to be quite a discussion as to what's going to happen, and I think they're going to kick it over again, and they will.
Yes, Bruce, and the penalties.
Penalties. Washington has 4 now for 30 yards. And Oregon so far in the ball game 2 for 28 yards. This is an opportunity now for the Oregon Ducks to maybe move it up the field just a little bit further. Don James, well, he has a 12-0 lead. And he has to be pleased so far that they've been able to dominate play, that Oregon really hasn't been able to put anything together. The young Jorgensen is having his problems throwing the football today, and defensively, apparently as of now at least, that Washington's come up with the right defensive plan.
Yes, they have. And Bruce, Jim Limbright with the defense as a defensive coordinator is moving his defensive players around. He's making certain pressure at certain different times, and the offensive and the defensive linemen are moving. And I think he has his game plan that seems to be working for him at this point.
King and Billups back. Jagger to kick it off again. With 7:08 to play in the second quarter, Washington leading 12-0. A high kick that will be taken at the 5 by Billups. The 10. Still on his feet at the 20 and across to the 25, out to the 27-yard line. He's going to pick up about, 4 yards on the play. So the senior from Irvine runs right up the right side of the field. And, you know, he was a step away from picking up some big yardage that time.
Yes, young Jager did kick the ball nice and high, but the wall, the hole by the University of Oregon was developed in there, and he was only one play away from breaking that thing all the way. And he hit it pretty good there, too, Bruce.
First and 10 now for Oregon at their own 27. They trail 12-0. The one setback, that's Kevin Wilhite. Wide receivers, split left and right, 2 tight ends in the ball game. Hand off, Wilhite, left side. Moves up to about 29-yard line. He's going to pick up a couple of yards on the play, make it 2nd and 8. So the freshman gets 2 yards on the play. And it's going to bring up, as we've mentioned, 2nd and 8 with 6:48 to play here in the second quarter as the breeze begins to kick up a little bit more, and it's cooled down. I think it's gone down maybe 5-10 degrees since the start of this ball game. It was quite humid here this morning and last night and raining heavily, but the clouds are still here, but no rain, but it has cooled down. LaDaria Johnson comes in to replace Kevin Wilhite at a running back position on 2nd and 8, just short of the 30. Jorgensen rolling. Pass short at the 49-yard line. The pass was intended for Hampton. It was a split in on the left side, and it was short at the 48, and the ball just bounced away from his hands as he tried to catch it, as you saw. Incomplete. Jorgensen continues to struggle. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. Jorgensen so far in the game has completed 3 passes in 9 attempts and had 2 of them picked off.
Great pressure by Big Ron Holmes from the backside, and he felt Big Ronnie on his back.
The Amber comes out of the ball game. The Huskies go into a nickel defense on 3rd down, 3rd and long. Eugene King in the ball game, along with LaDaria Johnson. Jorgensen back to throw. Throws deep to the outside, intended for Barnes, and overshot him by about 5 yards.
University of Washington did not throw blitz until the last possible minute. And the receiver was ready, the quarterback was ready, and just overthrew the ball. He's a little tight still, and he'll loosen up in a minute here. But again, Jim Lambright is moving that defense around, and he is confusing young Jorgensen.
Hicks standing back on about the 16. Collins at the 34. Oregon on 4th and 7 will have to give it up. Big rush and almost blocked. Collins driven back to the 20. Looks around, is going to have to break through about 5 people. Almost does. Gets the ball to the 29. Michael Collins just took his time that time and sort of worked his way down the right side and almost broke it.
Yes, Washington went for the block on that play, and Collins was all by himself, and so he just sort of played with it and created his own opening and got 5 or 6 yards out of the play.
And that is tough back there.
It's all by yourself.
When you're by yourself. 6:03 to play here in the second quarter. Washington with the ball in the lead, 12-0. Hines and Walt Hunt have played all the way. We'll talk about the Husky running backs and their injuries in just a moment. Walt Hunt straight ahead. He takes the ball across the 30 to the 32. He's going to pick up 3 yards on the play, make it 2nd and 7. And the left side of that Oregon defensive line, Maley, Ralph, and Bach making the stop. 2nd and 7. 5:39 to play, second quarter. Washington 2-0 coming into this game in the conference, and Oregon 2-0. Washington meeting UCLA next week in Los Angeles. In the Rose Bowl, I should say, in Pasadena. Fleur to throw to the outside. Complete to Sterling Hines. Still on his feet. Sterling still running. Oh, and he gets the first down at the 45-yard line. Sterling Hines just wouldn't go down. Put a hand on him, and I'm not going to go down. E.J. Duffy was the man to make the stop from the outside linebacker position.
Okay, Bruce, you have a simple drop back. Everyone's covered by the University of Oregon. Steve dumps the ball off to Sterling Hines. Just try to make a completion. Sterling takes his time, shows good strength, great second effort, and makes the first down here and moves forward with the football. He has shown a lot of strength today, Bruce. A lot of strength. 1st and 10 at the 45. Hines again, right side. Breaks 2 more tackles. Still going. Oh, a step away. Gets the ball to the 40. Make it the 37-yard line and picks up another first down. Good run for Sterling Hines. Hines has now gone over 1,000 yards in his career in Washington.
He had 918 before today. He needed only 82, and he goes over the 1,000-yard mark right here as he picks up 18 yards. He now has 14 carries and 98 yards. Sterling Hines.
Yes, Bruce, a counter play in the backfield. Fine block by number 88, Tony Roden. Again, Sterling Hines has come to play football today.
4:44 to play in the second quarter. Washington's going to take another timeout. Pallure comes over to talk. Now, why do you take timeout here, this situation?
I think what they want to now decide is if they want to start pushing for the end zone, earlier or later. The most important thing right now is Bob Stahl, the offensive coordinator at the University of Washington, has redirected the type of running plays for Sterling Hines. Earlier you saw where they pitched the ball wide to Sterling, and Sterling couldn't get his footing. Now all of Sterling's plays are now straight ahead, so they didn't worry about his footing. He can use his speed and his strength in his second effort. So now, great move by the Washington offensive staff.
Time of possession becomes critical now in the sense that the defense for Oregon has been on the field for a long time.
Yes, they have, Bruce, but also remember, the Washington offense has also been on the field.
We forget that sometimes.
And they're just as tired, if not more tired, than the University of Oregon.
So far in the ball game, Washington 173 yards total offense, Oregon only 44. The Huskies, the top rushing team in the conference, averaging over 223 yards a game. The top offensive team in the conference, 136 yards rushing so far in the ball game against one of the better defensive teams in the conference, at least against the run. High formation. 1st and 10 for Washington at the 37, the Oregon 37. Pallure to throw, going deep for everything. Throws it in the corner. It is caught incomplete. I'll say he caught it out of bounds.
There it is, Bruce.
It was intended and caught out there by Danny Green, and Wendell Kaysen was covering on the plate. He couldn't cover him any closer than that. He couldn't cover him any closer.
A draw play in the backfield. They call timeout to decide which side they want to throw the deep bomb on. Danny Green, fine move, fine catch, but great coverage by the secondary of Oregon. He catches the ball, but he catches it out of bounds.
There was someone on the sideline who had it called for you right there. Do you see his hands go down? There's the final, Michigan 16, Iowa 13. Michigan remains unbeaten in the Big Ten Conference. Sterling Hines runs into his own man, going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, and is going to lose about 4. Hines loses 4 on the play, so now it is going to bring up 3rd and long for Washington. Ronnie Johnson over there and John Byrne to make the play for Oregon. There you see Byrne, number 90, for the Oregon Ducks.
Washington is testing the outside.
Kentucky 14, Georgia 10.
Another critical down here.
3rd and long. Pallure throwing in and out of the hands of Dave Stransky at the 25. And I'll tell you one thing, he had Danny Green going down the middle, and I thought for a second he was going to throw it to him, and if he did, it'd have been a touchdown.
Yes, he has his reads up, Bruce. If the free safety comes underneath, he throws on top. If the free safety backs up, he throws underneath. Steve had to throw the ball because of pressure. Nice throw. He stuck the ball in there, a little behind him, and receiver should have come up with the reception.
Dane Cleland now averaging 35.3 yards a kick. He's kicked it 3 times. The last one good for 41 yards. And he'll be kicking the ball back at the 42-yard line. Back deep for Oregon is Lou Barnes.
We'd like to have about a 30-yard kick in this area.
High hanging kick, and he hit a beauty. It is taken on a fair catch back at the 14-yard line by Dan Wilkin. So Wilkin takes the fair catch for Oregon inside the 15 at the 14, and Oregon will take over 1st and 10 there with 3:47 to play in the second quarter. Washington leading 12-0.
And again, that Oregon defense is still keeping the Oregon offense alive. They're not letting Washington get those 7s. Even the last touchdown was only come to the part of just 2 field goals.
Freddie Small comes to the sideline. Jimmy Rogers from Aloha, Oregon comes in to replace him. Oregon now up with the tight end in motion to the left side. Handoff to the left side, spinning, and that is Johnson. He gets the ball up to the 19, picks up 5 on the play. Huskies defensively across the line. You see 99 is Browning. 90 is Ronnie Holmes. 68 is the big nose guard, Lynn Matson. Number 9 on the Oregon team, Adaria Johnson. Here's the fullback. But they switch the running backs back and forth. Maryland over Duke, 38-3 for the final. McCall and Johnson, the running backs, now on 2nd and 5. Pass to the outside. One of those little trick plays. Long pass. It will be almost intercepted by
Robert Leapart.
Robert Leapart almost came over there and had the football. Oof.
The double pass by University of Oregon. Another trick play, Bruce.
Here it is again. Jorgensen throwing to the outside.
A double pass. Throw to the wide receiver. Wide receiver throws it deep.
That's Harry Billups.
Good coverage by Washington. The only two people competing for the ball were the Washington defenders. Great coverage again by the secondary of University of Washington.
It's interesting because Washington has a time during practice when they work on this. Third down, as you see right here. 3rd and 5 with the ball at the 19. For Oregon, they trail 12-0, 3:02 to play, second quarter. Flags fly, and you can take away the completion here because I think they took too much time.
I believe so too, Bruce.
It will cost Oregon 5 yards. And it will bring up now 3rd, at about 10.
Yes, Bruce, you said earlier that every Thursday, University of Washington work on their gimmick plays. We call it the dirtiest dozen, the double passes, all the gimmicks that football coaches have come up with in the last 100 years.
Before the snap, false start against the offense, still 3rd down.
Well, you heard what the official said. That was the referee working the ball game today, Pearl Sorgan. It is 3rd and 10. The ball down back at the 14, the Oregon 14.
Tough situation for Jorgensen right now. He's been throwing not too well right now, and see what the Oregon coaches come up with.
Long count. He's going to run out of time again if he doesn't hurry. Hit from the backside.
Freddie Small.
Freddie Small coming from the backside to make the tackle on Jorgensen, and Jorgensen's down at the 4. Freddie Small came in. Keep an eye on the top of the screen.
Yeah, they faked the blitz up the middle, and they were coming. The guard, number 55, did not work out to pick up Freddie, and Freddie was on his back in a big hurry. That's a tough situation again for a young quarterback like that, and he's having a tough time already, plus some of his blocking breakdown.
The junior from Los Angeles, Freddie Small, making a big play. Hicks standing now 9 yards deep in his end zone with 2:21 to play here in the second quarter. Hicks, the senior from Oxnard, California. Great leg. He can really boot it away. Long, high, driving, about a 62-yarder.
Got a return on. Got a return on. Here we go.
Michael Collins. Flag goes, and a penalty. I believe it's going to be clipping against Washington back at midfield.
Yeah,
it was a late call, and I'll bet James is jumping straight up and down after that one.
Yeah, it was late. Collins had already made his move, and the young guy tried to get a little aggressive. And it's a, aggressive football game, and he's fired up to beat Oregon, and got a little too aggressive on that play.
So it's going to be a clip against Oregon on the play and take away Michael Collins' run back.
Yeah, a clip against Washington, I believe.
Against Washington. So instead of having excellent field position, Washington will have to put it in play.
Time for the 2-minute plan here.
That's right, back near their own 30-yard line. All exactly on the 30.
And as you know, a 2-minute plan.
On the return, clipping against the return team. First down.
The Oregon defense has been doing a fine job against Washington all day, keeping them off the scoreboard with the large numbers.
So what do you do with 2:03 to go in the second quarter and leading 12-0? Just keep it on the ground and run a little bit.
Stay with your personality. Let Steve Pallure throw the football.
Steve Pallure is going to do that. Going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and knocked down. First sack of the ball game for Oregon, back at the 15. I'll say his forward progress is up to about 17 and mark it there. Oregon fans on their feet, as they should be. Good play. Steve Bach making the play.
The draw to the left. Linebacker come up the middle. Defensive lineman Steve Bach come up the middle, beating Dennis Maher. A fine play by number 39, Steve Bach. 6'4", 240 senior from John Day, Oregon.
So the Huskies now. Second. And a bundle. Ball all the way back. That's 16. They'll run it right straight ahead and run the clock down with 1:16 to go here in the first half, and Washington leading 12-0.
Should be interesting to see if Oregon calls timeout or not.
You think they might try to stop the clock with 1:04 to go here. Dan Ralph was the man who made the last play. Good look at the scoreboard here at Autzen Stadium. I look around. You can't find a seat in this place.
Well, only in the aisleway, the steps.
3rd and 19 for Washington.
And they're going for it.
Pallur to throw. Looking, trying to set up a screen to the outside. Has it. And as you saw right there, Sterling Hines' feet just went out from under. It was covered pretty well by Oregon. Duffy was right in on the play. The ball at the 19-yard line. Washington will have to kick it away with 30 seconds to play here in the second quarter.
Just when you need good footing for a great move, the turf comes into play again. But
Huskies just letting that clock run down as far as they can. 16 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Washington leading 12-0.
They should let it run out, Bruce. I think they will.
They will, because see, they can. The 25-second clock is down to
10 seconds.
Or to 10 seconds, and the half's going to run out here before they can kick the football away. And so, at halftime, it is Washington 12 and Oregon nothing, and it has been some kind of football game. Here's Harry Sloan on the sideline with Don James.
Outstanding today. Oregon's as well, and you start to get a little offense going there at the end of the second quarter.
Well, it's back to the opportunities. We've got to get a little bit more out of our opportunities. We've got to try and get touchdowns and instead of field goals.
You have to let it hang a little loose a little more, go for the longer pass maybe?
Well, we did that and took ourselves out of scoring position here. So, we got to mix it up. There's some things we've got to try to do, but we just got to play solid football and not give them a break.
In the meantime, you got to be proud of your defense.
So far, so good.
All right, best of luck in the second half.
Harry, thank you very much. It is halftime here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene. The score, Washington 12, Oregon nothing. Washington scoring on a couple of 29-yard field goals by Jeff Jager. Then a 2-yard pass from Steve Pallur to Tony Roten. Huskies go for 2, and they don't make it, so they settle for a 12-0 halftime lead, and they have dominated play here in the first half. We'll be back with the halftime activities and talk more about the football game, but we'll go back to the newsroom in just a moment, right after this commercial break, for a news update from Jeff McAtee.
We're flying high above Belknap, Oregon, to test again whether your ad in the Pacific Northwest Bell Yellow Pages never stops selling. As you know, the Yellow Pages claims to have a bigger impact than any other advertising medium. On the job 365 days a year in 96% of all homes and businesses. Well, let's see how well they sell after this.
Size Sky Jumps, here's the limit.
There you have it, the Yellow Pages.
Yellow.
They never stop selling.
Anybody there?
It's going to be a weekend of old friends and good times, or so it seems.
These people represent a grave threat to the security of the United States of America.
What would you do if someone proved to you that your 3 closest friends are Soviet agents?
It's getting tricky now, isn't it?
The one weekend of the year you won't want to miss.
You tell me when I'm mixed up in.
The Osterman weekend. There you are.
Starts October 28th at a select theater near you.
Make the choice that makes it you. You're choosy. Do the things you want to do. Be choosy. 'Cause you like something special and you've known all along. You have more choices at the barn. At the barn. Go on, make your choices.
Look at Marcy.
At the barn.
Now, a news brief from Como 4 News.
Good afternoon. A hostage situation involving one of President Reagan's aides has just ended. The Secret Service is still trying to piece the story together at this hour, but apparently this is how it happened. A gunman crashed his pickup truck through the gates of the Augusta, Georgia golf course where President Reagan was playing golf. The man then took presidential aide, advance staffer Lanny Wiles hostage in the pro shop, and then he demanded to talk to Mr. Reagan. Well, the president made a phone call to the gunman, and then who refused to talk to the president. About 1 hour later, Secret Service agents stormed the building, and they finally captured the man. The hostage was unhurt. We'll have complete details on the story at 6:30. Crowds in the hundreds of thousands are demonstrating against Western Europe today in opposition to the placement of U.S. nuclear missiles in Europe. In Seattle, a march...
We welcome you back to Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon on a cloudy and kind of rainy day here today. It is halftime with Washington leading Oregon by a score of 12-0. The Huskies came out. Little problem getting their offense going. Intercepted a couple of passes. One of them was by Vesti Jackson. I said, yes, Vesti Jackson picked one off and also was picked off by Vince Albritton and set up a couple of 29-yard field goals by Jeff Jager. Then the Huskies scored on a 2-yard pass late in the second quarter. That from Steve Pallure to Tony Roten. And they lead now by a score of 12-0. They're looking at the Oregon band, and that's the Oregon mascot is on the field right here. Oregon fans obviously disappointed because their football team hasn't been playing as well as I think they expected them maybe to play against Washington, because Oregon has had some problems. Washington has dominated play in the ball game so far. And the Huskies, as we'd mentioned, up by a score of 12-0. But there is 30 minutes of football left, and Al Roberts, who is working with me in the broadcast booth today, Jimmy Moore is still back in Philadelphia, and Al is with me. As you know, Al Roberts, I should introduce him again, ex-running back coach of the University of Washington, and now with the Los Angeles Express of the USFL, and we can't forget Garfield High School either, huh?
Yeah,
those great days there.
Yeah, and they're doing fine.
Let's talk a little bit about that first half now, and what went on in the half as far as Washington is concerned. And being an offensive coach like you are, were you pleased with the way the offense was able to move the ball and keep their defense off the field?
Yes, Bruce, I was pleased with the way the offensive team moved the ball. At the same time, I was unpleased with only getting 3 points instead of 7s. University of Washington must get 7s if they want to stay in this ball game. On the other hand, University of Oregon's defense had to be given some credit because they are slowing the Washington offense down. With 4 points on the board, the 2 field goals by Jager and the touchdown by Tom Pallure only amounts to, 4 field goals. So the Oregon defense will continue to feel good about themselves. The Oregon offense has to get warmed up with Jorgensen and the receivers. The Washington offense, on the other hand, they have to get a little more aggressive, like they did that one time with Danny Green, who came down with the ball outside of the end zone line there.
You look at the halftime stats. The official stats are in right now, and you take a good look at them. And it is something else. 8 first downs for Washington, only 2 for Oregon. Passing yardage, this must be the second quarter, the way it looks right now. These are only second quarter stats that we have right now. In the second quarter, the Huskies picked up 35 yards to Oregon's 18 yards. As you mentioned, the Huskies with 8 first downs to Oregon's 2 first downs, and the Huskies 123 yards in total offense to only 18 yards in total offense for Oregon in the second quarter. So the Huskies dominating play in the second quarter, and Jorgensen continues to have his problems. So far in the game, he's 3 for 10. Had 2 intercepted only for 18 yards, and you have to get more out of your quarterback than that. A couple of scores of interest across the country for you right now. Pittsburgh defeated Navy today by a score of 21-14. Maryland over Duke, 38-3. Michigan defeated Iowa. As I'm sure a lot of you saw that game earlier on Channel 4. 16-13. Michigan remains unbeaten in the Big Ten Conference and leads the way to the Rose Bowl right now, although Illinois is also unbeaten. They're playing today, and we'll try to get an update on that score for you in just a moment. Fourth quarter, Notre Dame 27, Southern California 6. Illinois in the fourth quarter, as you mentioned, over Purdue 35-21. So they are keeping pace with Michigan. Michigan's only loss of the year. Well, a Husky fan alive won't forget that one. It was in Seattle. The Huskies won it by a score of 25-24. On the sideline, Harry Sloan's over there right now as he gets ready to talk a little bit about what in the world's been going on as far as halftime is concerned. And he has somebody right there that I'm sure you will all recognize. Harry?
That's your will. It's Dr. Steve Bramwell. Steve, you were in the locker room with Huskies. Anything injury-wise?
No, we're actually, for as hard-hitting game has been, we're in good health. We have a little sprained ankle in Tony Alvarado, but he'll play, and that's the extent of it.
I noticed that Timmy Ember came out early, though, and he was complaining that he had felt some pain.
He restrained that knee just a little bit, not enough that he couldn't go back, and he's a tough player, and he wants to play, and he's doing a good job out there, so he's go.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate it. It's interesting, Bruce, as you see the momentum shift down on this field. The Huskies definitely have it going their way, and they feel it. You can just feel their energy. While across the field, the Oregon Ducks, well, they're getting a little down. It reminds me of that game down in LSU. We're following a great victory as Oregon did against Arizona last week. They came in sky high, but then they kind of deflated. Okay, Bruce, let's toss back to you and look at little highlights of the first half.
There is the interception by Vesti Jackson, as you see right here, and that helped set up a Washington field goal by Jager. Steve Pallure. tripping as he falls and hands the ball to Sterling Hines. This good for 33 yards. You see the young guy from Canada who can just fly with the football, looking for one more block. Get the one more block from Stransky there, he might have been able to go all the way. But set up the field goal right there with the 33-yard run. Good hit from the outside. You can see how well the defense is playing here with Ronnie Holmes making the hit. Here's a guy who's really having his problems throwing the football today. He has completed only 3 of 11, had 2 intercepted. There's the second interception. And this one by Vince Albritton to Washington. And the Huskies, as we mentioned, picked off a couple of passes. Good run by Albritton right here.
Stand to the outside, and good comeback block by number 39.
Jimmy Rogers.
Jimmy Rogers from Aloha, Oregon.
Velour faking, good fake to Hines, throws to Tony Roten between 2 defenders for the only touchdown of the ball game so far to put Washington up by a score of 12-0. Now you say, why in the world it is the 13-0? Did Jaeger miss? No. They went for 2 extra, but they went for the 2 points in the conversion, and they missed. You can see there, it's a beautiful day here today. 8 first downs to 2, 122 yards to only 18 rushing, 18 passing for Oregon there in the first half for 36, 155 yards in the ball game so far for Washington. The Huskies, Velour 8 of 14, and as you see, Jorgensen only 3 of 11 with 2 intercepted in the game. Huskies time of possession for 5 minutes. 17:40 to 12:20. Those are the unofficial stats here at halftime between Oregon and Washington. And time of possession, as we said, puts the defense on the field, the Oregon defense on the field for longer than they want to be on the field.
Yes, it does, Bruce. But the biggest game changer of any is the turnovers. Oregon has had 2 turnovers, which again kept the Oregon defense on the field a little bit longer, which contributed to the offensive state power of the University of Washington. As an offensive coach, I cannot stand turnovers. As you notice so far, the Washington running backs have not fumbled the football. You know, at University of Washington, you don't tolerate it, you don't accept it, and so far they've been hanging on the football. And so have the Oregon running backs. So a wet day like today, at least the ground, the surface has been wet, the running backs have been hanging on to the ball by both teams.
Sterling Hines with over 1,000 yards in his career at Washington. He has 94 yards here at halftime in 15 carries to lead the Washington attack. His longest, as we showed you just a moment ago, 33 yards. Walt Hunt, 7 carries for 22 yards. Steve Velour, he's carried the ball 5 times for 7 yards. Velour, 8 of 14 for 35 yards so far in the ballgame. He has been sacked 1 time. For Oregon, Kevin Wilhite, 7 carries for only 19 yards. The score, Washington 12, Oregon nothing. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
If you find most beers too light for your taste, consider Rainier Ale. It's specially brewed with the finest hops and barley malt for a more pronounced flavor with a spicy undertone. Slow natural aging produces a beverage deeper in color, richer in character. One of the truly distinctive beverages of the world. What's more, Rainier Ale is beyond macho.
Here's good news about Exxon gasoline. Now you have a choice of how you buy it. If you pay cash at participating Exxon stations, you'll get a discount because cash transactions are less costly. But if you prefer the convenience of buying on credit, your Exxon credit card is welcome as always. Either way, the quality of the gasoline is the same. Exxon, quality you can count on.
Things are going a lot better these days. I've got high hopes.
Our savings are doing a lot better these days.
We've got a high rate.
Seafirst put me on their high rate. My market rate savings has paid higher interest than the average money market fund.
Seafirst market rate savings has performed impressively month after month. And your money's right here in Washington, insured.
We took their high rate.
Market rate savings.
That's excellence.
Seafirst Bank. Expect excellence.
Oh, what a time, feeling so fine. It's all yours and mine today. Setting our sights, hitting the high. Come on, this is taco time.
Come on, it makes good sense to put fresh, delicious, nutritious taco time food in your healthy body.
'Cause anytime is taco time.
Well, if you were with us at the start of the football game here from Autzen Stadium in Eugene today, you know that Washington won the toss, and they, on the option, elected to kick it off. Now they have elected to receive here to start the second half. So Washington will receive, and they will defend the goal off to our right, which is the east goal here at Autzen Stadium. It's begin to cool down just a little bit. As we had mentioned, maybe about 30 minutes ago, the temperature has dropped. We see some blankets begin to be pulled out. It's turned into sort of a cool afternoon, a cloudy afternoon here at Autzen Stadium. We'll bring you up to date on some more scores as we go along here. You're looking in the Oregon rooting section right now, and that's the Washington bench. Stuart Hill, number 46, a walk-on, and now a co-captain at Washington, and oh, what a great story that is. He's from Redmond High School, and he plays on the outside for the Huskies, and as they say in the business, he's a load.
He's a load, and Stu Hill came to the University of Washington as a 5'11", 187-pound outside linebacker from Redmond High School. 4 years later, he's 6'1", he's 235 pounds, and he got his training over, his weight training, in our weight room, of course, but over in, I think it's Magruder's gym in Bellevue. He did a lot of power lifting and really developed himself.
A couple of more scores for you. California over UCLA, 3-0 in the second quarter. Arizona 10, Stanford nothing. They are playing in the fourth quarter. Nebraska leads Colorado 55-3, and they're playing in the third quarter. Here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, it is Washington 12 and Oregon nothing as we get set now to start the third quarter. Paul Schwabe from Mercer Island, senior at Oregon, to kick it off. The left-footed kick. Drills it back in and out of the hands of the intended receiver with the ball, and that's Cookie Jackson. Now Mo Hill goes back, and he's going to down it outside the end zone, and Washington will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20. That's a tough kick to handle, a low driving kick with the wind at the back and kind of swirling around, and Washington just couldn't hang on to the football.
Yeah, Ron Jackson would have been a little more wise if he let that kind of blue dart or a hot ball go, because it was too tough to handle, and at the same time, Johnson wants to get involved in the ball game, and so when you get a little competitive out there, you want to get the ball and take off.
Hard to believe, only 10 first downs in the first half. Washington had 8 of them. Oregon, only 2. Huskies have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20. Sterling Hines, Walt Hunt, the running back. Hines hit across the 20 and picks up only 2, as you see. Going to bring up 2nd and 8. Working behind the blocking over there of Maher and Brosey on that side.
Rick Nally did the pulling on that particular play.
Score we gave you a moment ago. California over UCLA, 3-0 in the second quarter. And the California Bears still convinced they can do something this year.
Yes,
and they may be able to. Arizona, we gave you that one just a moment ago as well. 2nd and 7 for Washington. Hines again at the 25, and he'll pick up, get out to about the 27-yard line. He's going to be 3 yards short of the first down. Paul Huditz, or Bob Huditz, I should say, from Wheaton, Illinois, and on the play, leading the tackle for Oregon. 9 brothers and a couple of sisters. Big family. 17 carries for 101 yards now for Sterling Hines. 188 he had last week. Jock Robinson, you wonder where in the world he's been? Well, he's still bothered by that problem with his foot. So he hasn't been in the game. Cookie Jackson hasn't been in. It has been Sterling Hines all the way. 3rd and 3. And off to Hines. Now he has some daylight. He has the first down. Up across the 30 and gets to the 32.
Maybe a first down, Bruce.
Dan Wilkin making the stop from the strong safety position for Oregon. Hines, 5'11", 185. The senior from Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, a counter play in the backfield. Good block by the guard. Sterling Hines, this is the first time you've been able to see Sterling put a little move on and use a splitting. Here, he gets his shoulder square. A fine move on the defensive back. The backside pressure got him.
106 yards total for Hines. First down for Washington at the 32. Pallure to throw. To the outside. Flag flies. And it sort of flew in a position where maybe holding against Washington. We'll see. The pass was complete to Tony Roten up at the 37-yard line. That's Tony Roten right there. Roten, the junior from Hazen High School.
Yeah, preliminary indication it is holding.
Second half just underway. Washington 12, Oregon nothing. 13:26 to play here in the second quarter. You're looking at Steve Pallure. Pallure in the first half, as we mentioned a moment ago, 8 of 14 for only 35 yards. They walk off the penalty against the Huskies.
Holding on the offense. Still first down.
Huskies 6 penalties for 58 yards. Oregon 3 for 33 so far in the ball game. I think every time you come out in the second half, Al, you just want to take the ball and drive it right down the field and try to score.
Yes, you do, and you get a little nervous, a little anxious at times.
1st and 20. Draw. Hines hit behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 18. Dan Ralph got 4 sacks and 10 tackles for a loss coming into this game. Gets another one right there.
You see, Bruce, you see, Bruce, that Washington is doing the draw pass action. I felt like Sterling had a misread on that block by the offensive guard, and Ralph came in and made a fine play on it.
2nd down for the Huskies. 2nd and 23. The ball back at their own 19. Fuller time. Throw. Too high. Complete to Dave Stransky. Stransky at the 38-yard line. It's going to be short of the 1st down by about 4, maybe 3 yards. Good catch by Stransky on the play. And for Dave Stransky, that's his first catch of the ball game. Wilkin making the stop.
Drop back. Nice touch by Steve Fuller. He touched it a little bit too much here. It seemed to be high, Bruce, but he had to go over the linebackers and then down into the receiver. Fine catch and a fine defensive play again by the secondary people.
That's the first reception by an outside receiver for Washington in the ball game so far. 3rd and a long 3. Fuller again. Gets away. Has the 1st down. May get a touchdown if he can run fast enough. Fuller still going.
Just protect the ball.
Away at the 20. Fuller at the 10. Fuller, touchdown Washington.
Bruce, the biggest difference in today's game is Steve Fuller. He's throwing 1st downs, he's running for 1st downs, and he's keeping drives alive.
Steve Fuller, with the longest run in his collegiate career, scores a touchdown. And I don't think he can believe that he ran that far.
No, Bruce, and here he is on a typical drop back, got outside pressure. He's moved upfield. Good movement here. You see number 31, the backside pressure is catching up to him. He got some additional help from Mark Patterson, and there he is, Steve Fuller. How far was that, Bruce?
61 yards. 61 yard touchdown run by Steve Fuller. If you need a lift just to start the 3rd quarter, go to your senior quarterback. He'll give it to you.
And do what you've been doing best all year long.
Jagger in, add the extra point. It is good. 11:59 to play in the 3rd quarter. Steve Fuller runs 61 yards for a touchdown. Washington leads Oregon 19-0.
Regardless of the difficulties,
it's time. What time? Your time. Lunchtime. For lunch, American style. The time is yours. The choice is yours. You know what fits your style. So open it up. Pile it on. Get a good lunch. You can't go wrong with America's Meal Maker. American style. Western family. From America's Meal Maker. American style. Western family.
Action is the main attraction. Saturday, October 29th, in the Kingdom. The top drivers from throughout North America will be in Seattle for the Super Showdown Battle of Champions. It's the U.S. National Hot Rod, Truck, and Tractor Pull Championship. And all the kings are back. Next Saturday, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. in the Kingdom. Tickets now at all vast ticket locations. Join the fun. October 29th, Saturday.
Steve Fuller goes 61 yards in a run for a touchdown. His longest prior to that 27-yard run. It's his 3rd touchdown rushing this year. So the young senior quarterback from Interlake High School, 6'4", 210, put on a burst of speed and gets touchdown and puts Washington up 19-0. So the Huskies set now to kick it off. There you see, 6 plays, 80 yards, 3:01 on the clock. Eugene King, Harry Billups standing back in the end zone. Jaeger, long driving kick. It will be in the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20.
Young Jaeger, Bruce, is trying to keep the ball on the numbers on the left side of the field so that University of Oregon cannot develop their kick return. And so occasionally a young guy with a little energy, a little too much energy will kick it out of bounds with lack of control, of course.
What Don James will tell you all the time, if you kick it right straight up the center of the field, you know, you give the advantage to the returning team. You want to get it on the hash marks, one side or the other. Here's Fuller again, 61 yards for a touchdown. Longest of his career at Washington, and obviously the longest this year. 1st and 10 now for Oregon. Oregon up in the eye. Wilhite and McCall, the running backs. Ball at the 20. Jorgensen going. It is complete. Across the 40, out to the 44.
Oregon is now behind 19 points, so Jorgensen has to come to the, rise to the occasion and throw the football.
He hit Hampton with the pass, and the sophomore from Van Nuys makes the catch, his first of the ball game.
Nice pass by Jorgensen, fine catch. The ball was thrown in between two Washington defenders.
Huskies now send Rogers into the game and go back in a nickel defense. 5 defensive backs. Stuart Hill comes out of the ball game. High formation up again. Wilhite and King. Eugene King in. Pitch back. This time to King. Tries to get across the 45, and he just can't. Washington right there. Albritton up on the play. Browning.
Fine force by Vince Albritton. He came up to stop the whole flow of the play, turned it back inside to the quick pursuing inside linebackers and defensive linemen of Washington.
That's Eugene King. You see right there, a sophomore from Vallejo, California. Outstanding sprinter. Get him to the outside, and he will just fly down the sideline for you.
You got to keep him contained.
Second and 9. The ball at the Oregon 45. Washington leading 19-0. Jorgensen, big rush. Going to be drilled back at the 36.
Bruce, University of Oregon cannot see the blitzes coming from University of Washington. Cannot see them. Jim Lambert has done a great job deceiving the University of Oregon. Jorgensen is responsible for seeing if those blitzes come. Here, it was a little late there, but
you can see everybody coming from the outside, and what you want to do is get a lot of people up there. Now, Washington did that against California a year ago.
Yes.
And California had all kinds of problems with it.
And sometimes you come, Bruce, sometimes you don't. And young Jorgensen is confused by the Washington defense.
Second sack of the game brings up 3rd and 16 now. The ball back at the 38-yard line. Whistle blow's going to be too much time as Jorgensen tried to audibilize. Now they're going to call timeout. Oh, he took a timeout because he was going to run out of time if it didn't. So Oregon takes a timeout with 10:13 to play. Third quarter, Autzen Stadium, Washington 19 and Oregon nothing.
If your heart stops every time you get your heating bill, it's time to install a Buck Stove. With its unique thermostatic blower, the attractive Buck Stove will heat your whole house from one end to the other.
And not only that, it'll save you money.
That's for sure. Our Buck Stove cut our heating bill over 60% last winter.
And Dad likes to keep the house nice and toasty.
So, if your heart can't take another heating bill, see your Buck Stove dealer today.
Buck Stove, unmatched in home heating.
2 years ago, Volvo introduced the Turbo, a 4-cylinder car that could blow the doors off a V8. Now there's something new. A turbo that Car and Driver has shown can go from 0 to 55 in a scorching 6.8 seconds. They call it a missile, the intercooled turbo from Volvo. It does everything the turbo can do, only faster.
Huskies come up with their second sack of the ball game on Jorgensen, so it's going to bring up the 3rd and 16 for Oregon. Oregon took a timeout. They wanted to talk the whole thing over. And now Jorgensen's back in a huddle talking to his football team. You look at Don James on the sideline. Oregon is only 2 of 7. 1 of 7 in third down so far. Barnes and Hampton, wide receivers, split left and right. Huskies again, faking the blitz. Here they come. Jorgensen throwing, lob pass. It is complete at the 30. 20, knocked out of bounds inside the 20. The pass complete to Lou Barnes. Linebacker fell down for Washington on the play. Now Barnes made a great move, and it was a great pass and a great catch too. Watch it again.
Yes, got outside pressure by Freddie Small. Jorgensen takes his time, throws the ball to that Barnes.
Yeah, Lou Barnes.
Great running catch, and he has a lot of speed for a sophomore. A lot of speed there.
So first down now for Oregon. Their first drive of the ball game. They have the ball at the Washington 17. Wilhite and McCall in the game. Jorgensen over the middle. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Oh, that could have been 6 points. Intended for Hampton. And it could have been 6 points. New stadium record, 44,303. We told you we couldn't see an empty seat in this place. Old record, 44,200. Remember that? It was against Washington not too many years ago. The Oregon bench, they want a touchdown. Washington leads it. 19-0. So far, Jorgensen 5 of 13 for 87 yards in the ball game. 2nd and 10 at the 17. Handoff. Inside to Johnson. Johnson gets the ball to the 13. Picks up about 5 on the play. It's going to bring up and make it 3rd and 6 with the ball at the 13. Ladoria Johnson, senior, 3-year letterman. He goes to the sideline. Now Kevin Wilhite comes back in the ball game. McCall in the ball game. Switch the running backs. 3rd down. 3rd. And long 5, make it 6. Jorgensen rolling on the backside. Throw back to the other side is going to be incomplete. It was intended for McCall, and that was
39.
Jimmy Rogers coming from the backside to make the play. Kevin McCall, if the ball had been thrown just a little bit softer, I think he'd have scored a touchdown because he had a blocker out in front of him on that side and just had a chance to do it. But I'll tell you, when Jorgensen turned around and he saw Jimmy Rogers coming after him,
Jimmy Rogers had great intent on his mind. McCall was covered out by Robert Leapart, who got picked off by the cross in action. Plus, if the ball had gotten to McCall, he'd had a lead block in front of him, and it's been an awful tough from Robert Leapart to make the play.
Schwabe attempting a 30-yard field goal. The left foot is up. It is good, and Oregon's on the scoreboard. Washington 19 and Oregon 3. So the Ducks with 9:09 to play in the 3rd quarter get on the scoreboard for the first time. So the action's picked up just a little bit here in the 2nd half. The Huskies and the Oregon Ducks battling for the lead in the Pac-10 Conference. We'd mentioned the record attendance, 44,303. And we're very happy to be able to bring the ball game to you back in Seattle. Al Roberts working with us today. I'm Bruce King along with Harry Sloan. And it is getting cooler here in Eugene. We got Harry on the sideline. Harry?
Bruce, I tell you, Steve Pelluer is just about to take the field after the Huskies receive the ball, and he still hasn't stopped smiling. It's really something. He did that long run back right in front of me, and at the 20, it looked like he was being caught by a Oregon tackler, but he swatted that tackler away and then seemed to pick up speed, headed for the corner of the end zone and got it. What a marvelous moment for Husky football that was. They're just about to kick off now. The Huskies about to receive, so let's toss it back to you.
Thank you, Harry. Standing back on the goal line for the Huskies, Cookie Jackson and Mo Hill. Mo Hill, you know, the son of J.D. Hill. Just a great, great football player. College and in the pro. Schwabe to kick it off for Oregon now with the score 19-3 in favor of Washington. There's Mo Hill, number 15. Oregon moves. 67 yards in 8 plays. 2 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. Long driving kick. Taken by Cookie Jackson 5 yards deep in the end zone. And he'll down the ball. Washington will take over 1st and 10. On their own 20. Cookie Jackson, the junior from Franklin High School in Seattle. There you see the scoring drive. Long pass. That was the key play in the drive, and that was the pass that was complete to Lou Barnes. And it helped set up the field goal. Steve Pelluer, as Harry mentioned, he's going to talk about that 61-yard run for a long time.
Well, a very long time. It's very important for Washington right now to counter with another 7 or 3 on their part.
1st and 10 at the 20. Sterling Hines, the only up back. Pitch back to Hines. Daylight. Hines picks up about 7 on the play. Takes the ball across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 3 for Washington at that point with 8:57 to play in the 3rd quarter. Dan Wilkin going to make the play. Sterling Hines.
A good move. You see the opening. You see the block by Walt Hunt, number 45. Against Sterling. He's getting a little tempo warmed up. He's making some individual moves now, and the surface seems to be a little bit better in some parts of the field.
2nd and 3. Hines again. Still going. If he breaks the tackle, tries to get to the outside. Ball loose.
They called it down.
But they called it down.
Called it down. And still no excuse, Bruce. The ball must stay in your hands, locked away.
That's the first time in this ball game that the ball has been loose, despite the fact that it's really wet down on the surface, the AstroTurf surface here at Autzen Stadium.
A draw play to Sterling. Good block by number 51. I believe that's Dan Ernie. See the center, Rob Kuharski. And again, you can see the elbow come on the surface and the ball drop up. Good coverage by Rick Mallory, just in case the referee decides to miss that call.
21 carries, 120 yards for Hines. Pallure, play action. Throws complete to Walt Hunt. No, dropped the ball. I thought from where we were he had it complete. Devaney, Dan Devaney, outside linebacker on the left side, was back there defending for Oregon. Number 45, Walt Hunt. And he has been really a pleasant surprise this year. Highline High School.
This old big Walt, 6'2", 225-pound junior, I believe, this year.
Yes.
Walt came to the University of Washington, struggling, having a hard time, and he stuck with the program, and he's doing a fine job for Washington at this point.
2nd and 10 for the Huskies. The ball at the Washington 37. Washington leading 19-3. We're in the third quarter. Autzen Stadium. Pallure. Quick pass to the outside, complete. Short of the first down, across to the 43-yard line. That was complete to Danny Green. Don Brown was over there defending for Oregon on the play. Danny Green, who was healthy this year, 2-year letterman, sophomore out of Compton, California. Interesting, you know, he has a brother in the Grambling marching band.
Ah, yes. I found that out at the Michigan game, I believe.
Yes. 3rd down. 3rd and 4 for Washington at the 43. Hines, will he get it? It's going to be close, very close, but I don't think he got it there unless they turn the football around, and it's about 3 yards long. Huditz in to make the stop. He led the charge for Oregon on the play. And I think it's going to bring up 4th down as they're about a half a yard short.
I think Washington's trying to catch him off balance a little bit there with a real quick dive play to Sterling, and hope that he could pop the ball through there.
So Oregon comes alive as the Huskies get set now to kick it away. Lou Barnes standing back inside the 20 at the 18. Thane Cleveland to kick it away, averaging 33 yards a kick. He had a sky kick for only 28 yards. That took his average down just late in the first half. Here's the kick again. Good high driving kick. Barnes is going to take it at the 5.
Should have let that one go.
Barnes tries to break a tackle, can't. At the 17, and he stopped there. So Oregon will take over deep in their own territory, but they have the football, and that's what they want right now, trailing 19-3 with 7:13 to play in the third quarter from Autzen Stadium in Eugene.
Young Barnes is back on his 10-yard line when he made the move, and he backed up a little bit too far, and most punt teams have what they call a 10-yard rule. He should have let the ball go in the end zone or bounce around where it might.
Lou Barnes went to the same high school as Marcus Allen. Transferred Mesa Junior College here, and he has just really been a shot in the arm to the Oregon program. 1st and 10 now at the 17 for Oregon. Flag flies, and Jorgensen just throws the ball out of bounds. It was covered very, very well.
That was a 3-step drop pass by Jorgensen, and he threw the ball away because of fine coverage by Washington. I believe that's a holding call by University of Oregon. It is. Indicator.
Jorgensen so far in the ball game is 5 of 14 for 87 yards. .709 to play, third quarter. Next week, Washington against UCLA, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Oregon next week.
Illegal use of hands against the offense.
Oregon
penalty decline. Second down.
I'll tell you. Oregon plays Washington State next week. That's right. In Pullman. I thought that's where they were. The penalty was declined. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for Oregon with the ball at their own 17.
Very important for Washington to get out of this drive.
Huskies with 4 down linemen playing a 4-man front right now. Good hit inside. Ball loose. Everybody's scrambling, and Oregon gets it back. But I think they're going to say he was down as he got up to the 19.
Yes.
A quick whistle. Well, you can always talk about that for a while, but it looked maybe like a quick whistle because the ball popped out. But the ball got to the 19-yard line. He picked up only a couple of yards on the play.
Good defensive play by University
Johnson
of Washington.
Fumbled the ball.
Yeah, Ladaria Johnson.
Rich Brooks across the way.
Again, Bruce, no excuses for that ball coming out. It's too critical a game and too critical part of the field for the ball to come out.
Rich Brooks has had quite a career here at Oregon. Some ups and downs, but this year so far he's been able to put something together. They've won 3 out of the last 4. They've won 4 straight conference games. That's the best in the conference so far. Jorgensen, the throw, goes over the middle, threw the ball short at the 35, and it was incomplete.
He had a lot of pressure on him by Dean Browning and Len Manson, number 68.
Pass intended for Hampton, so it's going to bring up 4th down, and now Oregon's going to have to kick it away. Good defensive effort that time. for the Huskies. Jimmy Lambright so far has a smile on his face. He's the defensive coordinator at Washington, the way his team has played.
Except for the one long pass, Washington's played an admirable game. And
Hicks in 5 kicks, averaging 42.8 yards a kick. Huskies with 10 men up in the line of scrimmage. They're looking for a run back this time. And Michael Collins is driven way back to the 30-yard line. Now at the 25. Still trying to get around a man. And a great play in a special teams by Oregon. Finally runs him out of bounds, going the wrong way inside the 20-yard line. And that was Ron Johnson, who just would not be turned back. Here run Michael Collins back to the 18, make it the 17-yard line.
Okay, Michael Collins is trying to get to the wall here, and he can't quite get there. Ron Johnson out of Garfield High School, by the way, makes a fine play on the Collins and pushes him out of bounds.
But there's a flag way down the other end of the field. You see it right there. Holding against Washington, and that will give Oregon a first down.
Oh, another critical error. You cannot do that in the kicking game, Bruce.
So the Husky defense will have to go back on the field as Oregon gets the first down with the penalty as the ball comes out to the 30.
Holding on the pick during the defensive team. First down.
Johnson and McCall in the game at the running back spots for Oregon now. Jorgensen still in at quarterback. Huskies up in a 4-man front again. 3 linebackers up tight. Throw to the outside. Oh, missed block there. Dusty Jackson going to finally run him out of bounds near midfield.
Yep.
Lou Barnes made the catch. And there was a slip, as you'll see here in just a moment. I think it was Jimmy Rogers who slipped on the outside.
Nice pass to Lou Barnes. Jimmy Rogers slips down, and here goes Lou Barnes again. Good Savior touchdown play by Bessie Jackson.
So the ball now at the 48. Oregon alive. The stadium comes alive. 6:02 to play. Third quarter. Washington leading 19-3. Pass on the outside. Incomplete. Overshoots Barnes. And you can bet that they're going to go to him for a while. J.C. Pearson making the defensive play for Washington. Lou Barnes has just done a job so far this year, and when you go back, I guess what you do is just go back to your strength, don't you?
Exactly.
Times like this.
Well, and Jorgensen is warming up a little bit, and he's finding Lou Barnes in the open spots out there. And you notice Bruce is giving him nice, easy completions where Barnes can run, and of course Jorgensen can get himself warmed up a little bit better.
2nd and 10 at the 48 for Oregon. Flip to the outside, incomplete, intended for McCall.
You see Jim Lambright is applying more pressure to that offensive young line of University of Oregon. And Jorgensen sees the pressure, and he's not stable right now, and he's throwing the ball away. A little too fast.
It's going to bring up 3rd down, 3rd and 10. The ball at the Oregon 48. Washington leading at 19-3. We have now 5:55 to play here in the third quarter. 3rd down, big 3rd down. Wilhite in motion. Jorgensen rolls to the outside. He might be able to run for the first down. It picked off by Tim Meamber. Meamber takes the ball to the 45. That's Tim Meamber. Lost his helmet, but hung on to the football. 3rd interception. Jorgensen that time had an opportunity possibly to run for the first down. He had the whole field on the right side, chose to throw the football, underthrew the ball, and Tim Meamber from Wairika was right there.
Yeah.
Harry?
Bruce, Jorgensen had to make the tackle on that, and he hurt his left shoulder coming out there, helping him off the field right now. As you can see on the replay, Tim Meamber looks like the primary receiver on this play. He said, here, I've got it, and here we go.
And look at Meamber take him on, and Jorgensen did his job by having to make the tackle, but that's the price you pay if you throw the ball away like that.
1st and 10 now for Washington. 5:47 to play. 3 critical turnovers by Oregon. Go to the outside to Mark Patterson. It is caught just short of the first down marker at the 45. Picks up 9 yards on the play. 2nd and a short 1. And that was Wendell Kaysen who was covering for Oregon. Patterson, the junior, from Roosevelt High School in Seattle. Number 51 in the center of your screen right now. Dan Ernest, the center. 81, Leroy Lutu.
From University High, Honolulu.
Second and short. Offensive coaches love this one. You think they'll go deep on it? No, he'll try to get the first down. Walt Hunt gets the first down as he takes the ball to the 44. And near the 43 is where they're going to mark it. Give him his forward progress to there. Huditz, Duffy, and Devaney in to make the stop for Oregon on the play.
The Oregon offense is warming up a little bit on our Washington defense, Bruce, so I'm thinking right now that Bob Stahl, offensive coordinator, might get a little more aggressive here and try to get down in the field goal range or try to come away with a 7 if possible.
Wide receivers coming to the left side of the screen. You see the final errors we gave you earlier. Pittsburgh 21, Navy 14. Patterson and Green to the left side. One setback. Sterling Hines slowed up at the line of scrimmage. Picks up only about a yard. Gets to the 42. Byrne making the stop. The first contact. The junior from Pacifica, California for the Oregon Ducks.
I think the pitch was to Sterling Hines to sweep to his right. I believe Steve Pelluer missed the play calling because I think the play should have gone to his left, and I believe that's what Ray Dorr is talking to him about now on the sideline.
Big blow for Oregon if this man's out of the ball game. That's Dan Ralph. The fine left defensive tackle. The young senior from North Glen, Colorado, goes to the sideline.
Being replaced by number 72.
Will Stepanovich, the freshman redshirt, comes in to replace him. He's from San Pedro. So Dan Ralph to the sideline, and that could be a hole in the left side of that line for the Oregon Ducks with 4:24 to play in the third quarter, and Washington leading 19-3. It is 2nd and 9. Pelluer to throw. Pelluer gets away, still on his feet, hit behind the line of scrimmage, and dropped to the 45. Larry Wilson made the stop for Oregon, made the first contact. It's going to bring up third down again, 3rd and long, this time 3rd and 11.
Okay, drop back Sterling Hines, as you saw, got beat on the blitz by the outside linebacker. Steve Pelluer made a good move and tried to get back out to, at least back to the first down marker.
So Pelluer faces a 3rd and 11 right now with 3:48 to play in the third quarter. Huskies leading, as we mentioned a moment ago, 19-3. Ralph comes back in the ball game at a defensive tackle position for Oregon. Pelluer. It is complete and then dropped. Intended for Leroy Lutu on the outside. He just dropped the football. Don Brown was there.
I think that was, you said Ron Johnson from Roswell High School, number 31. Did he make a play?
The 21, Don Brown.
Don Brown.
4th down, Washington will have to kick it away. So Oregon's getting a chance again. 5 kicks for Cleland, averaging 36.4 yards a kick. He'll stand back on his own 40. Lou Barnes, it's 10. Low pass from center. Good high hanging kick this time. Fair catch is going to be called for at the 15. Fair catch is called for by Wilkin. And so Oregon will take over at their own 15.
Washington is warming up a little bit, Bruce. The defense is holding, Oregon is warming up a little bit. The defense is holding Washington, and the Oregon offense is getting in step a little bit.
They make a change now at quarterback as Mike Owens, the sophomore redshirt from a year ago, comes in at quarterback. He's from Van Nuys, California.
You may see him take off with the ball a couple of times, too.
And he can run with it. Barnes in motion to the right side. Handoff straight ahead. Nothing there. Washington played it well. That was Johnson. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and they may give him the nose of the football up to about 16. They'll give him a yard on the play.
Good play by Ron Holmes, number 90, out of Hoquiam.
Kevin Wilhite comes back in the ball game now for Oregon. Herman goes out. Geiser comes back in. Husky rally squad on this sideline. They're enjoying it right now. Washington 19, Oregon 3. 2nd and 9 for Oregon.
Washington's on the blitz. Here they come. Here they come. There it is, right there.
And that was Owens stopped for the loss. And you can just see him coming.
You can see him coming, and they have to do that to young guys like Jorgensen and this other young quarterback. What's his name? The kid.
Owens.
Owens. He hasn't gotten that tempo of the game yet, and Coach Lambright's going to see what the young guy's made of.
Ball back at the 9-yard line. Third and 16 at the 9.
The quarterback is young, Bruce, and the offensive line is young, so why not get after him a little bit?
They are 2 of 11 in third down conversions so far in the ball game.
They're lining up this time, faking the blitz. They're faking the blitz now. They're going to jump in and back up.
Will Hyde in motion.
Yeah, here they come. They're backing up now.
Owens to throw. Looks, has time. Throws deep, maybe picked off. It is by Robert Leapart. Leapart is finally downed at midfield. The 4th interception for Washington in the ball game.
That time, Bruce, they faked the blitz, dropped out, and young Owens threw the ball over top. Here it is. Washington faked the blitz. Owens thinks he's going to throw deep. It's the 4th interception. Great pick by Robert Leapart. 4th interception of the day by the Oregon quarterbacks. Tough situation for young quarterback Bruce.
1st and 10 now for Washington at the Oregon 49. Pallure to the outside. Complete to Mark Patterson. Breaks the tackle. Still on his feet. Out of bounds. We're picking up the first down at the 33. Ron Johnson was the man who knocked him out of bounds. Garfield High School in Seattle.
Here's a 3-step drop by Steve Pallure. Quick pass to Patterson. Ron Johnson, that's number 11. Patterson made some fine move out there. He did those things at Roosevelt, by the way, and Ron Johnson comes over and gets his old comrade out of Roosevelt.
Interesting that Johnson went to Garfield, yeah. Patterson to Roosevelt. Yeah. They played high school football right in Seattle. They're meeting here in Autzen Stadium today. Sterling Hines.
We have to get Sterling warmed up again here. He had came close to breaking a few earlier.
Picks up 5 yards on the play. Takes the ball inside to 30. You see they'll mark it. Can you see it right there? We'll all look together. The ball at the 29. Maley making the stop for Oregon. He's a freshman out of Prineville. Sterling Hines, 24 carries for 128 yards in the game. And 188 last week against Stanford in the 32-15 win. Walt Hunt. Hunt straight ahead, short of the first down by a couple of yards. Gets the ball to the 25. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2 for Washington there. 1:02 to play in the 3rd quarter. Larry Wilson, now playing an inside linebacker position for Oregon, made the stop.
You can move the ball on Oregon. Bruce just can't make them break, and that's a stout defense by the University of Oregon.
3rd and 2. Hines. Short of the first down, just to the line of scrimmage, about 6 inches more. So it's 4th down. And the Huskies will have to settle for a field goal. Jaeger comes in. Fake inside. Now to Sterling Hines.
The counter play, but the University of Oregon refused to give up and make a fine play.
Duffy and Ralph making the play.
And block out the whole side of the right side of the offensive line.
Jaeger in to attempt the field goal. He is 2 for 2 so far. 2 29-yarders so far in the game. This time the ball will be marked down at the 32. It will be a 42-yarder out of the hold of Steve Pallure. Long, high kick. It looks good. It is. Jaeger kicks a 42-yard field goal to put Washington up 22-3. And that's the last play of the 3rd quarter as the quarter comes to an end with Washington leading Oregon by a score of 22-3.
More and more people are looking forward to Sunday.
May I read your parade?
It's the one day of the week
Oh, may I have your Northwest?
when the Seattle Times and Seattle PI get together.
Who said crossword puzzle?
Sunday has 2 editorial sections and 2 comic sections, plus more features, news, and entertainment.
That's mine.
Call 464-2121 to subscribe. It has something for everyone. If the high price of do-it-yourself is getting you down, cheer up. Pay and Pack Home Improvement Centers have always had unbeatable prices, but now we guarantee our store prices to be lower or as low as any of our competitors' advertised prices, or we'll sell it to you and knock an additional 5% off their prices. Nobody beats our prices. That's right. Bring in their ad and we'll beat their price by 5%. Why even bother to shop anywhere else when...
It's a snap. We Pay and Pack.
We start the fourth quarter, the final 15 minutes of action right now, with Washington leading 22-3, a 42-yard field goal by the freshman Jeff Jaeger, and the Huskies dominating play again. And back deep for Oregon, Eugene King and Harry Billups. As we are set to go, the Huskies 2-0 in the conference coming into this game, 5-1 overall, looking for their 6th win of the year. The Huskies, as we mentioned earlier, have won 25 and lost only 5 over the last 2.5 years. Teams still in the Rose Bowl race as of now. Washington, Oregon, UCLA is also there, and Arizona State. And Arizona State might have the best schedule coming down the stretch.
Yes, they do, Bruce. Have all the rest of their home games in Arizona, except for Cal Berkeley.
Huskies moved 24 yards in 5 plays, 1:51 off the clock. And the key play there was the interception by Robert Leapart. The 4th interception of the ball game for Washington. Jaeger hits a beauty, drives it 10 yards deep in the end zone, so Oregon will down it, and that is Billups, and they'll put it up 1st and 10 at their own 20. Oregon crowd a little quiet right now. 44,300, a record crowd here at Autzen Stadium. Mike Owens in at quarterback, and his last pass picked off, and his first pass. The kid redshirted last year. He's out of Van Nuys, California, 6'1", 198. And as Al Roberts mentioned, he is a guy who loves to run with the ball. They may change that offense just a little bit. Pressure, and he's going to be knocked down for a loss. Back at the 10. Harry?
Yeah, you just mentioned pressure, Bruce. You can imagine what the pressure Mike Owens is feeling right now, just being a sophomore. He'll probably have to go the rest of the way, though. They've got the pads off Mike Jorgensen right now as we see young Owens being sacked here. Jorgensen has the pads off. They're applying ice to his neck right now. He took that shot when Tim Meamber intercepted, so he might be out for the rest of the contest. Let's toss it back to you.
Johnson out of the ball game at fullback. Kevin Wilhite comes in for Oregon, 2nd and 19. Owens loses 9 yards on the play. The ball back at the 10. Owens back to throw. Pressure again. Screen to the outside. It is complete. And McCall tries to dance up the sideline. Gets to the 15, and that's all. Picks up, about 3 yards on the play. Husky defensive unit covered it pretty well.
Yes, Bruce, they had good pressure up the middle, and as they threw the screen off to McCall, that great leverage points by the Washington linebackers in outside corner.
It'll bring up 3rd and long now. 3rd and 15 for Oregon. The ball back at their own 15. Washington leading 19-3.
22-3.
22-3. Glad that 42-yard field goal there in just a moment. Split backs. Owens rolls. And the intended receiver was apparently going to be Barnes, but Johnson was also running out in that area, and he didn't even turn around.
No, the Oregon coaches are now trying to get Mike Owens to throw the ball and move a little bit, and so that he can utilize his athletic ability. Ladarius Johnson thought the ball was going to go over to Barnes, and Barnes thought the ball was going to Ladarius Johnson, and they had a mix-up on their play there.
So Hicks going to have to kick it away. Kevin Hicks standing back there to kick it away now for Oregon, standing on his own goal line. Collins at midfield. This is a driving kick, and I think Collins going to have a chance to run this one back.
It's a middle return. He should go straight up the field.
Breaks one. Can he get one more? No, hit from behind at the 40-yard line. Runs it back about 10 yards. So the Huskies will take over. They say his knee went down at 41, so the Huskies will take over 1st and 10 at the Oregon 41. 13:58 to play, 4th quarter, Autzen Stadium in Eugene. And it is Washington 22 and Oregon 3.
Ron Jackson is in the ball game for the first time today.
So Sterling Hines goes to the sideline. And Ronnie Jackson, as you mentioned, comes in from Franklin High School.
Looks like Mike Vendovich at fullback.
Mike Vendovich in at fullback this week because of the injuries to the Washington fullback. Pallur back to throw, going to slip and fall down. Pallur's foot went right out from under him at the 49, the Oregon 49. And he loses 10 yards on the play. And he sort of walks back there in disgust. There's a pretty good rush in there by Steve Bach. So Pallur now looking at 2nd and long, 2nd and 20. Sterling Hines in the ball game. He goes to the sideline. 25 carries, 127 yards in the game. The Huskies offensively running the ball very, very well. Cookie Jackson, the only setback. A long yardage. 2nd and 20. Looking for a screen, trying to set it up. Get it to Cookie. Needs a block. Needs one more. He is down across the 35 and gets to the 34-yard line. Still going to be short by about 4 yards to the first down. But a big pickup of 15 yards on the play.
Ron Jackson on a screen to his left. Steve Fuller looking off. Dropping back, dropping the ball into Ron Jackson's hand. You can see the setup by Mike Finney. Good acceleration by Cookie. Look at 2 hands on the ball, protect the ball, fall forward. Good job, Ron Jackson from Franklin High School.
Valor 13 of 21 for 103 yards in the ball game now. Valor fakes to Jackson, looking for a block. I think he's going to run it. No, he'll throw it. Almost picked off. Whoops. And Dave Stransky almost goes right through the kicking area down there. That's a little screen they put up so you can practice your kicks, and he almost runs right through it. Wendell Kaysen was the man who ran him out of bounds.
Looks like Washington's going to go for it. 4th and 3.
It's 4th and a long 3 with the ball at the 35. And Jaeger comes into the game, as you see on the left of your screen, and he is 3 for 3 so far. He has a 52-yarder so far this year. Here's a guy with a long, strong foot. If he does this one, it'll be 52 yards too. Here's the kick. Long,
it looks good. It looks good.
Looks good. Is good. He kicks another 52-yarder. And a young freshman from Kent Meridian High School. It's a beauty to put Washington up 25-3. It is Washington 25, Oregon 3. We'll be back in a moment.
You've got a style that's all your own.
You find as many styles in running a business as you do in the business of running. At ONB, we'll make every effort to bank your business in the one style to which it's committed. Not ours, yours.
At ONB, we like to do it your way. That's our style.
If your Puget Power bill could be itemized, it might read something like this. Heating your home every day for 60 days, cooking 180 meals,
perking 482 cups of coffee, washing and drying 60 loads of dishes, heating water for 60 shaves and 128 baths or showers.
When you think about all the things electricity does for the money, it's a pretty good buy. But it can add up. So use it wisely.
100 hours each, drying hair 144 times, heating hot curler 65.
Jeff Jaeger, that's the man you're looking at right now. What a day he has had. 4 field goals in the ball game. He is 4 for 4. Just kicked a 52-yarder. Washington up by a score of 25-3 over Oregon with 12:28 to play in the 4th quarter. A win today would put Washington all alone atop the Pac-10 standing. The Huskies, 4 plays, 2 yards, a minute 30. We should say 52 yards. Kick 7 yards deep in the end zone, and Phillips, and he'll just down it right there.
That's a long way from that first kick at the beginning of the game, Bruce.
It certainly is.
Looks like he's warmed up a little bit.
4 pass interceptions, 4 field goals.
Yes, it says something about the defense today, doesn't it?
It says something about the defense. Husky fever. I tell you, they're going to be getting excited about this football team one of these days. Husky fans are kind of alive. They love it, right? Oregon the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Owen at quarterback. Comes in for Jorgensen, who is injured. Will Height dives across the 35 to the 36. So the freshman from Rancho Cordova, California, picks up 6 yards on the play. Good look at a young man who decided at the last minute, instead of attending Washington, he would go to Oregon. He's a great sprinter, and we should give credit to the fact that he came here because of an outstanding track program at the University of Oregon.
Yes, they do. And young guy changed his mind, and he wants to run track too, but he ended up injuring his leg his last quarter in school.
Barnes in motion. Alex Max in the game. Throw back to Barnes. He may throw a pass. Hit back behind the line of scrimmage, and a fine defensive play by Vince Albritton. Barnes is slow getting up. Oh, Albritton had that one all the way. The senior from Oakland.
It's got double screen, a double pass again. Vince Albritton, who's been working against this play for 4 years at University of Washington, every Thursday in his Dirty Dozens, knew the play was coming, diagnosed it, and did a fine job.
It'll bring up 3rd now and 12 for Oregon, back inside their own 20. Huskies 25, Oregon 3, 4th quarter. Owens looking, throwing, and the intended receiver fell down. And that was intended for Hampton. And it really is slippery out there. It's going to bring up a 4th down. It hadn't rained during the football game, but boy, it rained hard here last night and this morning.
Yes, it did, and they brought out the squeezies on the field, Bruce, and tried to squeeze or vacuum the field off, and it seemed like it made the field worse.
In the 3rd quarter, the Huskies 13 first downs and 6 for Oregon. There you see Michael Collins, Vancouver, Washington, almost blocked. He'll run it back from the 35. Flag goes down, flipping against Washington. You can see it happen right in front of you.
Yeah, number 39 from a lower high school here in Oregon. I forget his name.
Jimmy Rogers.
Jimmy Rogers. I've only been going 9 months, and I've already forgotten his name.
We'll tell you, we're working with Al Roberts today. An Oregon player is down. Working with Al Roberts today, who was the running back coach at Washington for 6 years.
6 years, yes.
And is now with the LA Express, the USFL. You'll see the penalty here. It's going to be a clipping penalty, and with 10:57 left in the ball game, Washington leading 25-3. Let's take a break.
Pilots of Pan Am, United, and Japan Air cannot have blurred vision. For safety's sake, they all depend on one windshield cleaner, Optic. Blurred vision threatens your safety on the road, too. Optic removes road film and ice. Add Optic to your car's windshield cleaning system to swipe away dangerous road film and ice. Use Optic windshield cleaner for safety's sake.
Scores for you. California 13, UCLA nothing in the 4th quarter. Here's one for you. Arizona 17 and Stanford 17 at the half. And if you hadn't heard before, Michigan defeated Iowa 16-13. Illinois over Purdue 35-21. The Rose Bowl race heats up. Notre Dame 27, Southern California 6. Huskies.
Rick Spinney in the ball game now. Almost popped that through on a quick hitter.
He picks up about 3 on the play. Make it 2nd and 7. That will give him a long 4 as he takes the ball out across the 22 near the 23-yard line.
Would have been
short at the 22.
Would have been exciting to see Rick Spinney out of Snohomish High School break one. Young guy's a fine ball player, and he's going to be a great contribution to the University of Washington.
Huskies ball. Cookie Jackson running to the outside. Across the 25 to the 27, short of the first down marker by a couple of yards. Bach making the play, senior from John Day. And we're going to have timeout for an Oregon injury right now. As you see, hobbling to the sideline is Huditz, the inside linebacker, number 59. 10:13 to play in the ball game. Washington 25, Oregon 3. And I think, honestly, you could say it has been all Washington so far. Yes. Oregon had 1 drive.
Yes, Bruce, and also all of Washington in terms of the physical game. A lot of Oregon ball players are leaving the ball game, and you can attribute that to Rick Hughley, the strength coach at the University of Washington.
Huskies now, 3rd and 2. Ooh, it's going to be close. Very, very close. Forward motion should take him up near the 30-yard line. If it does, and you can see where the line judge is there. If it does, then it should be a first down. And it will be.
That's the second big hit by that same strong safety. Earlier he hit Walt Hunt, and this time he hit...
Dan Wilkin is the strong safety from South Eugene High School. He's a pretty good hurdler.
Hey, very physical ball player.
Now, there's a guy who walked on at Oregon, too. Said, I want to play football here. 1st and 10 for Washington, just short of the 30.
So much for recruiting.
Pallure throwing to the outside. It is complete to Cookie Jackson, and as you saw, his feet went right out from under him. Picks up a couple of yards. Dan Devaney covering on the play. Oregon rooting section. They come up with a cheer off to the left. Michigan State 21, Ohio State 11, a final. Oh, how about that? That's the 3rd loss in conference play for the Buckeyes this year. He's taken right out of the Rose Bowl race. Auburn over Mississippi State. 2nd and 9 for Washington. Jackson. One man to beat and couldn't quite get by him. Gets the ball out near the 35-yard line with 8:56 to play in the ball game. Washington leading 25-3. It will bring up 3rd and 5. Larry Wilson spells his first name L-E-R-R-Y. A sophomore. The Huskies now are 7 for 18 in third down conversions. 3rd and 5 right now.
Well, Washington likes to try to keep that around the 50% percentile if they can. See what happens here.
It is complete, but I think just short of the 1st down. Complete to Mark Patterson. But they had to get the ball to the 40-yard line, and I think it's going to be short by, just an inch or so of the 1st down. At least that's the way it looks here.
Looks like Coach James wants to go for it, and 4th and inches, and we're going to go for it.
Patterson's 4th catch of the ball game for 32 yards. So the Huskies leading 25-3, 7:57 to play. Feel they can pick up the 1st down. Pallure does. He dives over the 40-yard line. Just had to get the nose of the football to the 40.
Yes, and that's a lot of confidence in those interior linemen, too. Dan Ernestine, Rick Mallory, Ted Brosey.
Now we see some Oregon fans across the way and under us here begin to leave. We're across from the press box. Small press box here at Oregon, so they put the television people across the other way. And so we're looking at the game from the south side of Autzen Stadium. Record crowd, 44,303. Jackson, not much, and gets about a yard. Young running back out of Franklin High School.
And the University of Oregon defense has not given up. You don't make great plays like that if you're trying to give up. And we come up with a fine play that time.
You're looking at Jeff Woodruff over there and Ray Dorr, and they're calling the plays. The man on the right, okay, that's the quarterback coach. Can you figure out what he's calling right now? You know, because you know the system over there, but I know that interesting?
Yeah, I know the system, but Ray Dorr has changed it.
Penn State upsets West Virginia, 41-23. I don't think it's been 28 years since West Virginia won. They're going to have to wait for another year. Pallure to throw. Wide open, the tight end, Tony Roten, then he runs it out of bounds after picking up the 1st down. Roten gets the 1st down in Oregon territory at the 48. He picks up 12 yards on the play. Dan Wilkin was the man who ran him out of bounds. A good look at Tony Roten, guy from Hazen High School. He was in high school. I think they called him the best tight end on the West Coast at that time.
Oh, right. They
Superb athlete.
Big, fine, big, strong, fast tight end for University of Washington.
1st and 10. They mark it at the 49. Fenny, the freshman from Snohomish, to the 45. Picks up 5 on the play. Washington now just running down the clock, and the crowd begin to sort of desert Autzen Stadium. Oregon against Washington State next week in Pullman. Washington against UCLA. Oh, what a game that should be. In the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. 6:26 to play. Washington 25, Oregon 3. It has been all Washington today. Fenny again, straight ahead. Close to the 1st down as he gets to the 40. Going to come up about a yard short.
I've given Rick Fenny some easy handoff right now. He's a young freshman and trying to bring him along slowly.
Rick Fenny's having some problems with his shoulder and did not play against Stanford last week. And there was a question whether he played it in. That's why Bendovich moved up to the 2nd team. But Bendovich was in for a play, and then they brought Fenny in, and Fenny has been in there ever since. Fenny so far, 3 carries for 12 yards. Longest for 5. 3rd down. Fenny gets the 1st down. He's going to break one of those, Bruce. He'll probably pound the turf a little because if he hadn't fallen, might have gone all the way because he had it open.
Yeah,
First down now.
Young freshman nervousness against a strong team and an exciting team like University of Oregon. So you saw the quick opener there, the block by Ted Brosey, number 64.
You saw the fist go down.
Yes, and he knew that he should have read that block a little bit better, Bruce, and jumped outside.
First and 10 for Washington at the Oregon 38. 5:27 to play. Washington leading 25-3. Pallure looks, throws deep, has a man there. Caught. Touchdown Washington to Danny Green.
Bruce, I was wondering when they were going to come back to that. He caught the ball out of bounds earlier, and I was wondering how soon they were going to be aggressive, a little bit more aggressive today. Danny Green and Steve Pallure.
38-yard touchdown pass from Steve Pallure to Danny Green.
Here you see Steve Pallure on a draw play, the fake to Cookie Jackson. And you see the safety coming over from Oregon who just can't quite get there. Nice pass by Steve Pallure. Danny Green keeps his feet and scores a touchdown. Here's another angle of it.
Steve Pallure, 17 of 26 for 157 yards. 2 touchdowns. Danny Green, great concentration.
Great concentration and great timing and great placement of that ball, Bruce.
Jaeger in, adds the extra point. Kick is up, it is good. 5:16 to play in the football game from Autzen Stadium. Washington 32, Oregon 3.
Toyota is turning the truck world upside down. Introducing the new generation Toyota Standard Bed. Toyota's lowest priced truck with a big 2.4-liter single overhead cam engine, a 1,400-pound payload, and a price that'll leave your bank account right side up. $59.98. The 1984 Toyota. A new standard for a new generation.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota. Solid oak. Sturdy cause it's Northern Appalachian. Solid oak. Clear as the Minnesota morning. Solid oak.
From the Minnesota oak forest comes the wood to make furniture for every room in your home.
Solid oak. A great old American tradition. Solid oak. That's why we're picking out the right trees. Solid oak. And made right at our factory. Solid oak.
Beautiful, affordable, factory direct furniture from tree to you.
Solid oak.
Washington 32, Oregon 3. Pallure, a 38-yard touchdown pass to Danny Green. Jeff Jaeger to kick it off now. He's had 4 field goals today. The Huskies move 81 yards in 13 plays and run off 5:41 on the clock. As we mentioned a moment ago, a number of Oregon fans begin to leave this jam-packed Autzen Stadium. Game televised today here in Eugene in this area. Jaeger kicks it out of bounds. Mad at himself. Now, again, we should make you understand that, too, and explain it to you. He's trying to kick it to the hash mark on the left side or kick it to the hash mark right side. They want to get it left side right now. So the ball was kicked out of bounds. They'll move it back 5 yards, then kick it again. I started to say a moment ago, the game televised in this area because it was sold out. We're very, very pleased to be able to televise it to you in Seattle because the game was sold out. 400-mile rule. When 400 miles, the schools are 400 miles or less apart, then a game has to be sold out to be televised. That's the reason this one had to be sold out. We guaranteed that on Thursday. And if there was any question about the whole sellout, you can forget it because there's a record crowd of 44,300 and some, and the stadium only seats about 42,000. Standing room all around the stadium, but many, many Oregon fans leaving right now with Washington leading 32-3. Takes a bounce. Billups watches it bounce and go out of the end zone, and Oregon will put it in play on their own 20.
As good as young Jaeger is, Bruce is not quite ready. You know, he's having some problems on some parts of his kicking game. But another year from now, he'll probably be one of the finest kickers in the country.
Well, everybody said, what in the world are you going to do when Chuck Nelson is gone? Well, you find a Jeff Jaeger who walks on and tells you, I want to play. Well, and there's a good one in Thane Cleland.
Yes.
Who's the punter right now.
And, you know, Chuck Nelson walked on, so there are some fine young kickers in the state of Washington.
Huskies' second defensive unit in the ball game now. Owens, he's going to go deep, got to get a touchdown. It's still alive. And almost caught by Oregon. That was Michael Collins who was bouncing the ball around back there. Boom.
Washington has the second team defense in there right now. Michael Collins, Roger Tarver at the other safety.
That was intended for Lou Barnes. There you're looking now at Owens, who is the young sophomore from Van Nuys, coming in for Mike Jorgensen, who was injured in the third quarter. Owens to throw. Second down. Dumps it off. Complete to the tight end. Broken tackle and slips and falls down before he can get a first down. That was complete to Christensen. And he picks up 5 yards on the play, and it's going to bring up third and a short 5.
And there's Mike Owens throwing the dump-off pass. The linebackers have dropped off. There's a missed tackle by one of the Husky defenders, and you see the young guy slipping down there, and the turf is still a little slippery.
Only 2 of 6 completions for Owens. Rich Brooks, well, you're going to have to wait for another day, unfortunately. Maybe another year for Washington.
Well, there's a lot of young guys out there, Bruce, and he'll be fine.
Owens rolling, looking again. Catch up. It's all open on the backside. He's got the first down across the 30 and out to the 33.
Those are the type of plays I thought that Mike Owens would do earlier in the ball game instead of forcing some of those passes. And he's a fine athlete. And here he is again on a straight drop back. You can see the pocket moving a little bit. Pressure from the outside, forcing him up through the hole. You see White Knight in pursuit. And like all good young quarterbacks, they run as far as they can go and then drop to the surface to protect themselves.
4:06 to play in a ball game. Washington 32, Oregon 3. Wilhite runs into traffic as he gets up to the 35, and the Huskies were all there. That's second defensive unit in there, and they want to get a little of the action today, as the Huskies obviously have this one put away. Wilhite in the ball game, 9 carries for 27 yards, picks up only 2 then. Wilhite going to the sideline again and begin to drizzle here just a little bit. The umbrellas come out, and it's cooled down, as we'd mentioned earlier. They're back over here on the donor side where they have the heaters, and you don't feel too bad here. 2nd and 7 now. The ball at the 36. Owens to throw. Looking deep. Going deep. Could be picked off by Collins. It is. No, he drops the ball.
Dropped it. Mike Owens got to put a little more pressure on the ball.
Lou Barnes looks exhausted down there. He's going to have to come out. He says, it's my turn to go to the sideline. So the junior from San Diego, Mesa Junior College, goes to the sideline after not the best day in the world for him. Not the best day for all those Oregon fans either. Michael Collins is going to be thinking about that because he's had 2 interceptions now he's let get away. The Huskies 4 interceptions in the ball game. 3rd and 7 with 3:19 to play in the ball game, and Washington leading 32-3. Owens. Ball knocked away from, slips out of his hands. Ball still loose. Oregon will recover back at the 20. It'll bring up 4th down. Shepard recovers the ball for Oregon. That's Scott Shepard, the senior from Prineville.
Yeah,
now watch what happens here.
Yeah, here's Mike Owens on a drop back, and you can see the ball slips out of his hand here. And
it's a wet football.
It's a wet football, and big Tony Lewis tried to get the ball in.
Almost had it.
Yeah.
But Shepard gets it for Oregon back at the 20.
Right.
4th in a bundle. Huskies a man short. You can get Rogers finally in the ball game. Here they come. High kick. Collins gets a chance.
Middle return, Bruce. We should go straight to Phil. Nothing there.
He's still going. Finally at the 40, they're able to corral him and knock him down. So Washington will take over at really the 41. That's where the ball will be marked. The Washington 41. We're down to 2:25 left in the game. Ron Johnson from Garfield was the man who made the stop. There you see the clock here. Second offensive unit in the ball game also. Fenny is in. Paul Sicaro comes in at quarterback now, number 14. Hand off to Cookie Jackson. Breaks 1 tackle. Breaks 1 other tackle. Gets to the 45 and picks up 4. Defensively, Johnson upset that he couldn't get him in the backfield. There you're looking at Cookie Jackson. Cookie was the leading rusher a couple of years ago. Well, 3 years ago, really. Then he missed a year, and then because of some grade problems, now he's back. Handoff inside to Fenny. Fenny carries some people with him and gets near the first down in Oregon territory at the 49. 1:48 to play. They can see rain in the distance. 32-3, Washington leading. Huskies led at 12-0 at halftime. Benny comes to the sideline, and Mike Vendovich gets a chance to go in the ball game on third and about a half a yard. Paul Sicaro from Ashland, Oregon.
Ashland, Oregon, an Oregon kid on our team.
Handoff straight ahead. Good enough for the first down.
Mike Vendovich, Mount Tacoma, Washington.
So the Huskies pick up the first down and turn and look at the clock. Clock stops with 1:23 to play in the ball game. As they move the chains down the field, Rich Brooks' team 3-3. They'll be 3-4 after this. Don James's football team will be 6-1. We mentioned 15th in the country coming into this game. They'll be 3-0 in the Pac-10 conference. Sicaro with a first down. Whoops. Throw to the outside. Complete to Mo Hill, and he steps out of bounds. I thought that was going to be illegal procedure right there.
The back shifted a little late, and Sicaro didn't give the backs time to set up.
Ed Holbert, the freshman, knocks Mo Hill, or I should say he was back there covering Mo Hill on the play.
Both teams now have all the young people playing the ball game.
2nd and 9 at the 45. Sicaro to Vendovich.
Mike Vendovich.
Little guy's had knee surgery on both knees, you know, successive years. And to come back and play football is really something.
Yeah, and that's why Coach James was taking his time with Mike, and Mike has had a lot of bad luck. And just take your time and let him grow, let him become a part of the team.
Just a few years ago, he was as good as there was in the Northwest. An outstanding runner.
And he still is. Just a couple mental problems, though, from all the injuries, and a couple more months, he'll be fine.
Now you can see the rain. Cookie Jackson, is really bounced as he gets to the 35.
Number 32, the same defender again, making a great hit.
Dan Wilkin. It's really begun to rain hard now. You get your umbrella out. Jackson now has gone over 1,000 yards rushing in his career. Straight ahead, down to 14 seconds to play. Obviously, the Huskies, as they have in this whole drive, just running the clock out. 7 seconds. That's the final play of the ball game. Did the clock tick away? Washington, they remain on top of the Pac-10 conference. Washington 32, Oregon 3, and we've got Harry on the sideline with Steve Pallure.
Yeah, Steve Pallure, the runner. That's what it's all about. What a great victory for you, Steve.
Hey, it was really fun. I thought, we played well on both sides of the ball. Our defense gave us some great field position on turnovers. And then we started out kind of slow offensively. Our passing game really didn't get going too well. And then it seemed to all gel together in the fourth quarter, and we just rolled over them.
Tell me about that touchdown run. It was incredible. It looked like you were caught at the 20, but you kind of swiped that tackler away and then went on into the end zone and fell into the arms of Leroy Luchu, exhausted.
Well, I knew somebody was on my tail. I didn't figure I could outrun them, so I was just waiting for somebody to kind of touch at my heels, and the thing was, I knew there was somebody back there, so I just kind of changed and moved to the side and tried to do anything I could to throw him off a little bit.
And you got in there. Big surprise?
I did. It was kind of a surprise.
Well, it was a great victory for you, and we congratulate you,
Steve
Pallure. Thank you very much. Defensively, the Huskies were magnificent today, holding Oregon to 3 points. With me now, linebacker Tim Meamber, who had 1 interception today, and on that run back, you put Jorgensen out of the game. You tried to tackle him, and you gave him a pop. But the team as a whole played well.
Yeah, the defense played exceptionally well today. We went out and we were fired up. We knew Oregon was going to come out fired up, so we went out there with the idea that we had to be meaner and ornerier to win this game, and we were today. So
a lot of fakes going on. You were faking your blitzes, your stunts, all of that going on, kind of confusing Jorgensen at times.
Yeah, we had him confuse it quite a few times in the game. On the blitzes, he was checking off, and then we'd fake blitzes, and he'd check off into his zone defense, and we'd have everything covered. So we had him pretty well scouted, I think, overall for the game plan today.
I tell you, the Huskies are becoming a pretty good football team.
Yeah, we're coming around real well. The defense, I don't know how many yards we gave up the first half or the second half, but the first half we did real well. In the second half, that first drive they came out and they had a couple big plays, but it only cost us 3 points, so it turned out all right.
3 points, you can go home. It's a long bus ride, but there are going to be a lot of smiles along the way.
It's an enjoyable bus ride when you win like that.
All right, congratulations, Tim. That's about it from the field. You know, I was having dinner last night with the assistant SID, Chuck Niemeyer at the University of Washington. I said, what do you think of the game, Chuck? He said, it'll be a blowout. 33-3 is what I call it. And he was only 1 point off. I think I'm going to have dinner with him more often. In the meantime, Bruce, let's toss it back to you.
Harry, thank you very much. You see the crowd, record crowd of over 44,000 are leaving Autzen Stadium right now. Total offense, run through it quickly. Rushing 256 yards unofficially for Washington, 160 passing, 416 total yards for the top offensive team in the Pac-10 Conference, the University of Washington Huskies. So the final score here, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about tonight's game right after this, with the final score 32-3, Washington over Oregon.
Pizza Hut pizza to go. It's a made-by-hand extravaganza with a tender golden crust. Pizza Hut pizza to go. Dripping with pure mozzarella cheese and loaded with all your favorite toppings. Pizza Hut pizza to go.
Here's a special offer. We'll give you a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi absolutely free when you call for a large Pizza Hut pizza to go. A 2-liter bottle free.
With Pizza Hut pizza to go.
When I first bought this ranch, I could work it with one horse. The place has grown a little since then. And along the way, I learned something. If you sell a man good steers at a fair price, you're going to do okay. The people that make Meister Brau beer must have gone to the same school I did. They got a beer here that tastes just as good as Budweiser. They sure do. It just doesn't cost as much. It sure don't. I got a hunch. Those boys are going to do okay, too.
Introducing Meister Brau. Tastes as good as Budweiser at a better price.
If you work on your car's electrical system, you can tell when there's trouble. Easy. But is it the starter, alternator, generator? Not so easy to tell. At Shucks, you can find out for sure. Bring in the part you think is the trouble, and we'll test it free. So you won't replace it if you don't have to. If you do, we won't let you leave with the replacement till we test it, too. At Shucks, we're not looking to sell you a part you can't use.
Shucks Auto Supply.
Washington remains on top of the Pac-10 Conference. They are now 3-0. Washington 3-0 at the head of the Pac-10 Conference in the Rose Bowl race. Well, Washington's still on top, and they're leading the way right now as they defeat Oregon today by a score of 32-3. Interesting, Steve Fuller, 17-26 for 157 yards. But here's the stat that's really interesting, as Harry alluded to a moment ago. 9 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. Now, he had a 61-yard carry there, but he was sacked a couple of times, so he lost some of those yards. Rushing, as we mentioned, Washington 256 unofficially, passing 160, 416 yards. Oregon minus 14 yards rushing, 110 yards passing, a total of 96 yards. 4 interceptions in the ball game, and that was one of the key factors. And Jeff Jaeger is 4 field goals in the ball game again. And Al Roberts, it was kind of football game that if you're a Washington fan, you love it. If you're an Oregon fan, you say, doggone it, there's another game next week.
Yes, you do, Bruce, and thank you very much, Bruce, for having me with you, and I hope Washington continues to win.
Oh, I'll tell you, it was some kind of game. Washington against UCLA in the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles next week. Oregon against Washington State. We want to thank our sister station in Portland, KA2U, for their technical assistance today to bring the game to you in Seattle, as well as KEZI-TV in Eugene. And our spotter, well, that's John Peterson. Craig Hayamoto kept the stats for us. They did an excellent job. Al Roberts, thank you very much for helping us out today. Harry Sloan, excellent on the sideline again. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. This is Bruce King saying the final score. Washington 32, Oregon 3.
Where do you go? Where do you go when you need top quality muffler repairs and shock absorbers?